All right. So yeah, if you are reading the title, you can clearly see what it is. We are going to be ranking every single 2025 movie that I saw. Now, here you can see most of them. Some of them are off the screen. You're not going to be able to view literally all of them at this moment, but because I'm hiding some of them on my webcam. But this is every single 2025 movie that I saw, like movie that released in 2025 within the United States, right? So that's an important distinction, because sometimes these movies release in like early premieres in 2024, and then they don't officially release in the United States until 2025. So it's just ones that released in the United States in 2025 that I saw, and there's 56 of them. So honestly, that's less than I wanted to. I feel like I've slacked a little bit this year, like compared to last year. I think I had almost 70 or something. Like, it was a lot more. So yeah, definitely less than I wanted to, but honestly, I just chalk it up to I was just really busy this year, like way busier than I was the year before. And so I think that just led to me watching a few less than I wanted to. And there's a few that I still want to see, but I haven't yet. Just as an example, Wicked 2, I haven't seen that yet. I haven't seen, you know, I don't really want to see the Five Nights at Freddy's 2, but you know what? I'll see it. Like, that's one movie I missed out on. I definitely will check it out when I get the chance, but I'm not like, you know, freaking out excited for it. And then there's, what's another one? I know there's, How to Train Your Dragon remake, but that one didn't really excite me that much either, because I knew it was just like, it's a live action remake of the animated movie, and the animated movie is great, but I don't really have like a need to watch a live action version of it, but I'm sure I will at some point. And I know Marty Supreme came out recently. I'm definitely going to check that out when I get the chance. There's you know, quite a few, but I just didn't get a chance to watch all of them. I'm never going to be able to watch literally every new movie that comes out. It's kind of impossible to do that. Thank you so much, Lola Loud, for another member. You're a member for 3 months. So glad I joined this channel 3 years ago. MovieFusion is the GOAT. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Always appreciate the you know, memberships that people can join, which is a feature, by the way. What's up, Kermit the Frog? What's up, Cam? I only saw one movie and I don't even remember what it was. I mean, that's, you know, I guess it wasn't a good movie if you didn't like it. Had to take a break from the Better Call Saul video just posted on Patreon for this. Literally just got done editing that today. that was what I did for today. That was my work for today, was editing that, which will probably be up on YouTube in a few days. I hope, at least. But yeah, so I don't know how long this is gonna take, to be honest, because I feel like this usually takes a while, but I don't know. It is in right now. The order here is release order. I mean, I tried my best to get it in release order. I will admit, though, I don't think it's perfect. There's definitely some spots where it's like not perfectly, you know, who cares? It's as long as it's like relatively in release order. That's what matters for the US release, like the US release date, the official release date. So, all right. And for our categories, I mean, I just do the simple S, A, B, C, D, F. Some people like to put like phrases, but I don't know. The phrases always like mess me up, though. Like, maybe I'm too like OCD about it, where I'm like, oh my, it doesn't technically fit in that category. It's like, no, like, who cares? Let's just do S to F. I feel like everyone understands what that means. It's like, you know, a grading system. So yeah, it's a lot easier. What's up, Mike? How you doing? Double streaming this in the playoff championship game. Eating good tonight. Hell yeah. That's what I'm talking about. I wasn't even planning on streaming tonight. Like, this was such a last minute choice, because usually I schedule these streams a bit earlier, so like I can let people know that like, oh, there's a stream. I just honestly, like, I was gonna watch more Dexter. I was getting ready to watch Dexter, and then I thought to myself, like, I should do this stream soon. Like, I keep like holding off doing this stream because I'm like, oh, I gotta watch more movies. But like, honestly, there's so many more 2025 movies that I haven't seen. I'm never gonna be able to catch up with all of them. And by the time I do, we're gonna be in like March or something, and it's like nobody cares about this type of stream anymore once you get that far into the year. You got to do it like in January still, when the year just ended. So yeah, let's just get into it. And like I said, for all these streams I do, like, let me know your thoughts on these movies as we go through them. If you haven't seen the movies, I'm not going to spoil them. I'm not going to go into like detail, so you don't have to worry about me spoiling any like secrets about it. So if you haven't seen any of these movies, don't worry about it. Like, I'm not going to spoil anything. I feel like the only time I do like spoiler stuff is if it's a stream dedicated to a specific thing, like when we did the Stranger Things stream a few weeks ago. or if it's like a movie that's really old and it's like, okay, everyone's seen it by then, you know. But like these movies are newer, so I'm gonna respect the fact that a lot of you probably haven't seen all these. I'm not gonna be going into like detailed spoilers or anything. All right, first things first, Wolfman. I was so excited for Wolfman because it's directed by Leigh Whannell, which Leigh Whannell is a guy that, I mean, he hasn't made a lot of movies at this point. There was The Invisible Man from 2020. I think that released 2020. I did a reaction to that. Loved The Invisible Man. There was Upgrade. I also loved Upgrade. I think he directed Insidious 3. Haven't seen Insidious 3, so I can't, you know, give my opinion on that. So I was really excited for Wolfman. I was like, dude, this is going to be awesome. Like, The Invisible Man is probably my top 15 favorite horror films ever, which might be kind of crazy to say, but I loved it. So I was really looking forward to Wolfman. And I will say, ultimately, I did like it. I just didn't love it as much as I was hoping. Like, I think I liked it a lot more when I first saw it, and then kind of over time, like, I haven't really thought about the movie at all, which kind of means that I don't think it did much for me in the long term. But I don't know, man. I still really enjoyed it. It was very simplistic, just an enjoyable like horror survival film. It's just like that Leigh Whannell style wasn't really there, if that makes any sense, right? Like his directing style, like, you guys know what I'm talking about. If you've seen The Invisible Man, if you've seen Upgrade, you know what I'm talking about. Like, he shoots his movies in such a great way. This movie doesn't really do that, like, at all. So it was a little disappointing there. It just kind of felt like a, I don't know, generic horror film at that point. So I feel like I'm going to probably give it B tier or C tier. Definitely not going to go up to A. I don't know. If it's going to be B, it's going to be low B. I'll say that. It is not going to be like high B or anything, but I want to say like low B. But yeah, maybe I'll change that when we get through more. But for now, I think I want to go B. Wolfman was a colossal disappointment. Yeah, I know. I think I like it more than most people do. Like, I'm pretty sure most people thought it was like really bad. I thought it was okay. I just feel like there could have been a little bit more to the Leigh Whannell directing. Like, he could have been a little bit more interesting with how he shot, like how he chose to shoot the scenes, you know? So we'll see. Yeah, I'm going to finish Red Dead Redemption 2 as soon as I can. I say that all the time, though, and then I never get to it. So we'll try our best. We'll try our best. Yeah, sometime in the next decade, probably. All right. Leigh Whannell is not very good at acting. If Saw is what he's like. Oh, yeah, I forgot he was in Saw. I always forget that that's Leigh Whannell. Like, I don't think of Leigh Whannell as the guy from Saw. You know, it's crazy. But I don't know. I haven't seen Saw in a while, but I never thought he was that bad in that. But I don't know. All right, that is Wolfman. So that's that. And then we got Companion. Now, I'm gonna be honest. This is one of those movies where it's like, I feel like I might have a different take on it when I rewatch it, because I didn't like love it, but I also, okay, a couple things to it. I think if the trailers didn't spoil the twist, I would have liked it more, because the twist, which I'm not going to say what the twist is if you haven't seen it, the twist is really freaking interesting. It's just the trailers all spoil it. So it's like, I don't know, that didn't hit for me. And I feel like that moment would have hit so much harder if you didn't already know about it because of what you were going into it. But I think the concept was cool. It just had, I think, a lot more potential to it that they didn't fully utilize. Kind of a hard movie to talk about, though, because that twist is like the whole movie pretty much. So you can't really go into detail about it otherwise. I'm going to put it in C, though. It's probably like a high C for me, maybe low B. I'm probably going to keep it in C, though. What was her name? Sophie Thatcher. It was in it. I think that's the name of the actress. And I'm always bad with actor names, to be honest. Jack Quaid, right? So yeah, it was great. I had fun with it. I just feel like there was a lot more potential for the concept, and if the trailers didn't spoil it, I think it would have ended up being a bit better for me, personally. You should react to Heated Rivalry. I've been hearing about that a lot. I don't really know much about it, but I'll definitely add it to my watch list. I mean, if it's a show that's going to have multiple seasons, I feel like it's always good, because then I could react to it when like the next season comes out. But by the way, I haven't actually, I did announce this on my community tab, I guess, technically, but we are watching Euphoria next. So like after I finish Better Call Saul, Euphoria, we're going to be posting reactions to that. So I already watched episode 1. and then obviously I'll get on doing the rest as soon as I can, because I know season 3 comes out in April, so we're gonna get to that. And after that, I have no clue. We'll see what happens when we get there. After Dexter as well, I don't know. Dexter, we're gonna have to start a whole new like long-term show. We'll probably do a big poll for that. After Dexter and the spinoffs, obviously. I'm not just gonna end at Dexter, obviously. I'm going to watch the spinoffs. Companion was really great. Saw Companion with a friend who didn't know the twist. I did because second trailer spoiled it for me. His reaction was priceless. It's an A for me. Yeah, I'm telling you, the twist like is really cool. It's like, why would you say that in the marketing? Like, why would you do that? I want to watch Good Boy, but I'm scared. I heard it's sad and I can't imagine why. Oh my God, I forgot about Good Boy. Oh, I wanted to watch that too. I never did. Oh, yeah, it's okay. That was one I was excited for, but yeah, completely just didn't get a chance to watch it. It's okay. I swear, you watched so much of Better Call Saul so fast from season 5. I didn't watch it real fast. That's just how damn good it was. All right. Next up, we have Flight Risk, which is a you wouldn't think this, but it's actually directed by Mel Gibson, and I haven't seen all of Mel Gibson's movies. Obviously, he's an actor and director, but the one or two, actually, I've seen only one of his movies, really? Well, I guess 2 now. I saw Apocalypto, and then now Flight Risk. Haven't seen Hacksaw Ridge, haven't seen Braveheart. Oh, I guess I technically... Okay, I remember watching The Passion of the Christ, but I was like 6 years old, so maybe that doesn't count. Maybe that doesn't count. If I'm like 6 years old watching it. Yeah, I've heard most of those movies that I haven't seen from him, though. I heard they're really damn good. So this one is kind of a shock to me that it's just simply not good. Maybe F tier. I'm gonna put it in D tier though. I think there is some like stupid moments that are like kind of funny and entertaining that I don't think it's quite F tier. Like F tier is for the movies that are just straight up boring and bad. I feel like this is just a bad movie that's like, you know, you could have some fun with it. You can kind of enjoy parts of it. It's kind of weird. I enjoyed Topher Grace in this, Mark Wahlberg as well. He was kind of ridiculous in it, but I kind of enjoyed their weird performances. There was just a lot of like stupid moments to it. You know what I mean? Like moments where you were just thinking to yourself, like, that doesn't make any sense. Like there's no reason why these characters would do that in that instance, or why they would say that, or why they would react that way. I also don't think it took a full advantage of the concept either. I feel like the best parts of it were rushed in the last 10 minutes as well. So it's like, I don't know, weird movie. I don't really understand what the point of it was. It's one of those movies where it feels like it was just made for, you know, a quick paycheck. Like I don't think there was much passion put into this movie. So yeah, unfortunately, not a good movie, but it is what it is. Yeah, this movie is terrible. You know, I really like Topher Grace though, so that made up for it. I like Mark Wahlberg too. I said his name in a funny way there. So I don't know. It wasn't awful, but like it was pretty bad. It was pretty bad. Definitely not a movie I would recommend to literally anyone. Next up is a movie that I don't even know. Like, I don't know. I have trouble talking about this one. I knew I was going to have trouble talking about this one because it's one that I genuinely don't have like a big gripe with it. I just think it's so like, it doesn't do anything interesting to me, right? Like it's one of those movies where it's like, there's not really much bad about it, but there's also not like anything that I found to be that great. So I kind of just didn't really enjoy it all that much. It's basically like a Cinderella, like fairy tale version of The Substance, if that makes any sense. Like that's the best way I could describe this. And there is an interesting concept there. It is straight up a horror film. And I liked what it was going for, but it didn't really nail it on the execution side of things. Great costume design, though. Really cool setting. All that was great. So I'm probably going to give it like a high D tier, maybe low C. I'm probably just going to settle on high D for now. Like I could change these and adjust these as I go through. But yeah, I didn't even say the movie title. The Ugly Stepsister is the name of it. I don't know if you guys can actually see the title, but yeah, it's The Ugly Stepsister. It wasn't very good in my opinion, but I think most people liked it though. I'm not sure what the ratings were, but I recall it being at least a little higher than what I am gonna give it. Flight Risk is so bad it deserves S tier. It probably does deserve S tier, but I'm kind of like forgiving it just a little bit, just because like I did have fun with it. I thought it was okay. It just wasn't. I don't know. D tier is still pretty bad. Like let's remember that. It's still a pretty bad place to have a movie be. Yeah, not a lot of people watch The Ugly Stepsister. I don't remember why I watched it. I think I randomly saw it on AMC Plus or something. You know, but not really a movie I personally recommend. There's a really gross scene in it though, so if you like some nasty shit, then I mean that's for you. I mean it might be for you, but and I do like that sometimes in movies, but it didn't make up for the rest of the movie just not being like good at all. So there's that. Okay, next up, this one freaking hurts. You know, no pun intended. So this movie's called Love Hurts, and I say it hurts because I love Ke-Huy Quan, right? He's one of my favorite, like, new. I say new because he wasn't acting for a while, but obviously he was originally in Indiana Jones, The Temple of Doom. He played Short Round, and he went out of acting for a while, came back with Everything Everywhere All at Once. I think there was a couple of movies he was in before that. He was also in Loki TV show. And so I heard he was leading his own movie, and I was like, hell yes. Like his own little action comedy. It's more of a rom-com than anything, but there's like action to it as well. What would you call that? A rom-com that's also an action? Just an action rom-com? I don't know. But I was really excited for that. I was like, oh shit, that's awesome. The movie sucks though. Like it really hurts. And I might have to give it F, maybe low D, but I kind of want to say F. The only thing I liked about it is the choreography is actually not that bad. Like it actually has decent choreography to it. But almost everything else was either boring, stupid, or just straight up messy. Like the script was bad, the dialogue was bad. Every single like scene and thing that happened, just it fucking like I was just like, what am I watching? I don't know. It wasn't even like one of those movies that's just kind of weird that it has like a funny side to it. It was just like bad all around. So yeah, that sucked. I really wish I enjoyed it more. Oh yeah, he was in the Goonies as well. Yeah, that's true. He's great. I just wish they gave him a better script and a better thing. I don't even know who directed this, to be honest. Jonathan Ezebio. Is that his only film? Oh no, this makes sense. Okay, he's a stuntman. That makes perfect sense. So like I said, the choreography was really good, like the action scenes, the stunts. He's a stuntman, and this is his first movie he's directed. That makes sense, because that's what I said. That's the best part of the movie was the stunts. So if you want to watch a movie with some really cool stunts, watch Love Hurts. But the movie itself, no disrespect to him as a director. I hope he makes, another movie and gets a chance to do more, but I just didn't like this one at all. Okay. What's next? Oh, we get our first Marvel film of the year, which Marvel has been getting a lot of hate past few years. This is obviously Captain America, Brave New World. It's been getting a lot of hate, a lot of criticism. And I haven't always agreed with it because although I could definitely see some parts of Marvel that haven't been great recently, I don't think as a whole I have like a significant problem with how the universe has been. Especially movie-wise. Like TV shows, I'm more on board with the hate because I'm like, okay, yeah, there's been a lot of just straight up bad Marvel TV shows. But when it comes to movies, there's not many that I hated. Like, yeah, Ant-Man, Quantumania I didn't like. Thor, Love and Thunder I didn't like that much, but I didn't really hate it as much as everyone did. And then that's really about it. Like the Marvels I thought was really bad. But then there's freaking Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 was great. Deadpool Wolverine I thought was really fun. Before that you had Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. That was really good. Like there's been a solid run of movies. This one comes around though, and I really wasn't sure what to expect out of it, like at all. I didn't know going into it. Like I didn't really see anything from the director previously. I didn't know what they were going to really be doing with like Red Hulk. And so I don't know. I wasn't sure what to get out of it. but after watching it, I would say it's just it's a decent movie. I don't think it's awful. I don't think it's terrible. I don't think it's as good as Marvel should be. Like, I think if this was a win for Marvel, I think it would have been a lot better. So I don't think it's that bad. I'm probably going to give it I'm going to say top of C tier would probably be a good spot. What do you guys think about that? Top of C tier? I really don't think it was bad. It's just very lackluster for a Marvel movie. What Marvel should be doing at this point in time, there's a lot of pressure on them when it comes to coming out with better movies, and especially Sam Wilson as Captain America. That's a pretty huge role to have, and I don't think this was the best first film they could have done with him. A lot of it had to do with there was a lot of reshoots. There's one scene in the final act where he's talking to Red Hulk and trying to calm him down, and you can very clearly see that he's on a green screen, which I don't usually have a problem with that in most things. I don't care that I can tell they're on a green screen, but it was so obvious, and it's we're watching a Marvel movie, and you could also tell that he wasn't in the same room as Harrison Ford. You could tell it was probably shot after the fact, so it was just all right, come on. But I did like Red Hulk. I thought he was the best part of it. Harrison Ford did a great job, and so I like that. There's a couple things that don't really have a role. Juan Carlo Esposito's role in this movie, I always thought was weird. It's just a random role, and it didn't really amount to much, I guess. There's a couple of good action scenes though. I thought it was fine. I don't know. I really wasn't overly critical on it, but I also wasn't all that positive on it either. It's a very middle of the road, just mediocre at Marvel movie. So I was worried about Captain America 4 after the reshoots I went through. Yeah, there was a lot of reshoots, and we knew about that before the movie even came out, so we were already kind of expecting it to not be great. Brave New World is the weakest Captain America movie, but I didn't hate it's C tier. It felt like it's made for Disney Plus than a theatrical release. What I think they should have done, honestly, is the Falcon and the Winter Soldier show shouldn't have existed, because honestly, I don't like that show that much either. What they should have done instead is what that show should have been a movie, but mix some of the elements of Brave New World into that movie. So it should have been a, Captain America and Bucky movie. It would have been, Bucky would have been in the entire film alongside Sam Wilson. And it would have been about handling the mantle over to him, because that's what the show is about, really. And I don't like the Flag Smashers. I hated that part of that TV show. So you wouldn't have done anything with them, but you would have you probably would have still done the Red Hulk stuff. But you would have given them a chance to actually have the film be about his progression as Captain America, instead of just jumping right into that. And then just if you haven't seen the TV show, it's just well, tough shit. You don't get to see that progression. You could also had, U.S. agent in this as well. There's a lot they could have done that I think would have been more interesting than what we got. This honestly felt more like a Hulk sequel, the Incredible Hulk sequel. There's a lot of Incredible Hulk elements to it. So I don't know. Not a great movie, but definitely not bad by any means. I personally like the show more than the movie. I don't know. I don't like a lot of the MCU shows, to be honest. I've kind of been a hater of a lot of them. Some of them I like, though. It's funny I say that because I like Secret Invasion more than most. But yeah, I didn't like the Falcon and Winter Soldier. I didn't hate Moon Knight, but I didn't love it. Hated She-Hulk. Miss Marvel was not great, which is a shame because I think Miss Marvel started off really strong. The first 2 episodes were great, and then I feel like it just took a nosedive after that, and then it ended decently. Episode 6 was pretty decent, but there was a middle chapter there that just sucked. And then what other shows were there? Echo wasn't great. Daredevil Born Again was okay, but kind of disappointing. See, I don't know. I'm kind of Hawkeye was good. I liked Hawkeye. I actually wish we got a season 2 of that. The fact that we didn't pisses me off to this day. I'm still pissed we never got a season 2 of that. Yeah. That's another thing. Why wasn't Sharon Carter in Captain America Brave New World. I don't know. A lot of just questions that I had about it, but I do hope he gets another movie. I don't think he will, to be honest. I feel like this movie didn't perform well, didn't get enough critical acclaim. I don't think that he's going to get another like solo movie. I do think he's going to get a movie that he's in, obviously, but I just don't think he's going to get a solo movie. What I think they're going to do is they're probably going to, I don't know. I mean, they'll probably just do like a Deadpool and Wolverine kind of thing where he'll just have a movie alongside someone else. I don't know what that movie would be or what that character would be, but I mean, I think Bucky makes the most sense. Like, have them team up again. I don't know, why not? Not that I think he shouldn't get his own solo film. I'd be fine with him getting another one. He is great as Sam Wilson. Like, I can totally see him do more of it, but I just think the way Marvel is, or the way Disney is, I don't know, whoever is in charge of these decisions, I feel like they'll just see one person, just the movie doesn't do well, they're like, okay, we give up on them. Like, I feel that's the type of thing they do. So I don't know. I'm not, expecting it, especially recently when we're only getting like the biggest possible movies now. Like, we're only getting Avengers and Spider-Man movies for the next 2 years. Like, that's it. And then X-Men. And I think they're going to try to limit the amount of movies we get. So there's not going to be chances for movies that they're not fully confident about. So yeah, I don't expect another Captain America. They're actually, honestly, I don't think Steve Rogers, like Chris Evans as Steve Rogers, is going to stay in Marvel after Avengers Secret Wars. But I do see them rebooting, like doing a soft reboot kind of thing after a Battle World in the Secret Wars movie, and maybe having a new Steve Rogers played by a new actor, and then maybe doing a movie with Steve Rogers and Sam Wilson both as Captain America in a movie together. Because there's actually there is a comic run about that. Like, that is a comic thing, which is why, like, I've always wondered why people say like, oh, you can only have one at a time. Why? Like, did you play the, like, look at Spider-Man? You have Peter Parker and Miles Morales in the Spider-Man game, right? Spider-Man 2, you literally have both of them in the game. You don't have to like have one of them die for the other one to exist. You know what I mean? You could have both of them in the same movie. So that would be interesting if they wanted to do that. But I don't know. I don't need that necessarily. It's just something that they could do, and something that I honestly think they will do. So is Loki that good of a show? I haven't watched it. I love Loki. I think it's the best MCU show for sure. MCU meaning like, Disney MCU. Obviously, I'm not talking about like the Netflix stuff, because obviously that would be Daredevil and the Punisher are the best ones, but Loki's the best MCU for sure. I'm surprised the Spider-Man 4 trailer hasn't even come out yet. I know it got leaked, but I haven't seen any of those leaks. I refuse to look at those leaks. Okay. Do I need to watch anything that's after Thor Love and Thunder to understand the 3 MCU movies this year? You mean 2 MCU movies? Is there 3 MCU movies this year? No, there's 2, right? Spider-Man and Avengers Doomsday. I guess unless you count the Punisher special presentation thing. Yeah, you do need to watch Thunderbolts and Fantastic Four. But that's probably it, to be honest. You should probably watch Wakanda Forever too, because they're going to be in this movie. Like Neymar is going to be in it, and Shuri as Black Panther. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, I don't know if you need to watch that. Probably not, but that's one of the best MCU movies, so you should watch it. The Marvels, maybe just watch the after credit scene, because I know that's going to play a role, but pretty much nothing else will. I mean, I'm sure some of the other stuff will, but like not in a major way. I don't know. Not sure what else will play a role. Yeah, I liked WandaVision. Didn't love how it ended, but I liked most of it. Okay, let's move on. And I want the movies that I have more to talk about. We'll have a little bit more time to spend on it, but I'm not going to get too into it, because we got a lot of movies to go through here. Next up, we have The Monkey. Yeah, so I was really looking forward to this because, I mean, it's a monkey movie, and monkeys are my favorite animals. So if you got a movie about a monkey, I'm going to see it. Even though this is nothing to do with the animal. It's a freaking simple monkey. It's got nothing to do with the animal. But I wanted to see it anyways. It's directed by Osgood Perkins, who directed Longlegs. So I was like, I gotta watch this. I freaking loved Longlegs. Surely I'm gonna love this. And honestly, I didn't love it. I'm gonna put it in C tier right between these two movies. It's not bad though. It's in no way, shape, or form bad. Like I said, C tier is not bad. C tier is like the average tier. They're just like decent movies that I just kind of enjoy. So my issue with this movie is, I don't know, maybe it has to do with expectations. So I was expecting a horror film with some comedy, right? It really is a full-on comedy with some horror, which is okay. That's not like a bad thing. But my issue is that I think my issue is I don't know if the tone of the comedy was the best route. Like a lot of it was funny, but some of it did kind of like undercut the story, if that makes any sense. Like, especially in the third act, there was a lot of moments where I was like, okay, this is a really interesting, serious dynamic, and they just fucked it up with the comedy. It just ruined it. And I'm like, okay, like I like the comedy here, but there is a serious story here you could be telling, and you're just not even giving a chance to. So basically, it's about this like wind up monkey, and basically every time like the monkey gets activated, like someone dies. It's kind of like Final Destination in that way. Kind of has that like element to it. Except the deaths are even more random and fucking weird and crazy. But yeah, I don't know. I wanted to love this, but I honestly didn't think it was like that great. So, oh, you were talking about the 2025 movies. Oh, for the 2025 MCU movies, you don't really have to watch any movies to understand them. No. Thunderbolts, you really just need, I guess, the Falcon and the Winter Soldier show is helpful to, actually really helpful to watch, as well as Black Widow. Fantastic Four, you definitely don't need to watch anything before that. And then the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, not the Falcon, Captain America 4. Again, the Falcon and Winter Soldier TV show is really all you got to watch. So yeah, no movies after Thor: Love and Thunder that you really need to watch to understand those movies now. Okay. So yeah, Monkey, C tier. Does anyone, how many people even saw the Monkey? I don't know. I was so excited for it, man. I'm pissed off. It ended up kind of being not as good as it should have been. C tier is still fine though. Like I left the theater mostly satisfied with the C tiers though. Keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. Now we got Mickey 17 from Bong Joon-ho. Now Bong Joon-ho is a fantastic director of Parasite, director of Snowpiercer. Love Parasite. It's one of my favorite movies. So I obviously was looking forward to this, and I think in the end, it is a pretty decent movie, but I'm not going to put it that high. Like it would either go high B or low A. So I'm probably just going to settle on high B. High B sounds good. I thought it was fun. So this is a movie with Robert Pattinson playing multiple versions of himself. It's kind of like this very dystopian world in this like you're watching this guy named Mickey, and he's like a clone of himself, and they're basically like cloning him because they have him do all these dangerous tasks, and he gets himself killed, and when he dies they just use the other clone of him, and so he's basically being employed to just keep working until he dies, and then they just keep doing it again and again and again. It's an interesting concept. Like I actually really loved that concept for it, and my issue with it genuinely is the ending, which it hurts how much I say that. Like I say the end not necessarily ruined it, but like ruined the momentum so often. So many movies I can say that about, where it's like the first two acts are fantastic and then like the ending just kills it. But yeah, this would have been A or S if the ending was better, but I feel like I didn't love how it wrapped up. It didn't really hit the landing as well as it should have. But there's like there's a lot of social commentary, a lot of like satirical social commentary. I will say though, I think the least interesting part of the movie is like the bug species on the ice planet, which is what they really get into in the third act more than anything. I kind of preferred when it was just the freaking crazy shit between the two different versions of Mickey, because they get stuck because they're not supposed to be there at the same time. Like when one dies, that's when they bring in the next one. But there was two that were still alive at the same time, and so they got into this whole fight against each other. And that was my favorite part of the movie that I was way more interested in. And so, yeah, definitely B tier. Like when this released, it was my favorite of the year at that point, hence why it's the highest on the list so far. But you could obviously tell the fact that it's at B tier, it does not stick to that point. So yeah. What do you guys think about Mickey 17? Fun surprise. Has Robert Pattinson. Best performance in my opinion. Really best performance from Robert Pattinson. It's definitely up there. He's very out there in this. Like he doesn't feel like himself, which is good as an actor to not feel like yourself. So yeah, I loved it. What are the Dexter reactions releasing for YouTube? The next one's either going to be either tomorrow or Thursday. I can't tell you exactly when though, just because it depends. There's a lot of copyright issues I'm having, so I have to like wait till the copyright gets cleared. And if it gets cleared, I can upload it. If it doesn't, I can't upload it. There's not much I can do about that. I'm sorry. I'm going as fast as I possibly can with those reactions, but they've just been getting blocked a bunch. So that's just how Paramount is, unfortunately. All right. Next movie. Oh, this one's going to be fun to talk about because everyone and their mother hated this. I'm not going to say I loved it, but this is The Electric State. So kind of funny movie to talk about because it's kind of connected to Marvel in the sense that it is directed by the Russo brothers. And when everyone talks about how the Russo brothers suck, they always talk about the non-Marvel movies, obviously, because when it comes to Marvel, they're pretty damn consistent, pretty damn good. But when it comes to their non-Marvel movies, they're not as good. I don't know why that is. I didn't hate this movie though. I'm going to be honest. I didn't. I thought it was mediocre, not great, kind of just okay, but I didn't hate it. So I'm going to give it probably like low C tier. It really wasn't this awful, terrible thing. It's basically like this apocalyptic movie where like there's all these, I think it's supposed to be based on something, if I'm not mistaken, like some sort of, I don't know if it's like a story or something. There's something that is based on, and it's got like these really creepy robots that end up not staying creepy at the end of the movie because as the movie progressively goes on, it becomes more like adventurous. There's no really like horror there, but there could have been like a horror angle they could have used with this movie. I will say you have Millie Bobby Brown and Chris Pratt, and yeah, I don't know. It wasn't that bad. I just feel like it was missing something. Like there should have been more to it. It was a really expensive movie. That's true. Extremely expensive. Because, I think it was a Netflix movie, right? It was straight to Netflix, straight to streaming. And the Russo brothers, they trusted enough to put all that money into it. And yeah, it's got a lot of CGI used in it. And the effects look good. Like I'm not going to sit here and say it looks bad visually, but I do think there is a blandness to the story. Like they didn't do much with it, so that was my disappointment with it. It's like this could have been so much more, but it has some heart to it. There's some decent moments. I like Chris Pratt, I like Millie Bobby Brown, and they're fun to watch. So I can't say I hated this, even though I didn't think it was great, but I think it is a decent example of Russo brothers aren't nearly as good when they're not making Marvel movies as they are when they're making Marvel movies. So there's that. The budget probably, I will tell you this, the budget probably went to the CGI was, I thought, really good. I don't think it was shot the best, like visually, like there was some shots that definitely looked a bit bland, but the actual like CGI, I thought the visual effects were fantastic. So I can't say that makes sense. The money would have gone to that. But also I think you probably have to pay Chris Pratt and Millie Bobby Brown a decent amount. They're pretty high profile actors at this point. So that was probably expensive. I don't know what else went into it, to be honest, but it was probably mostly the CGI. I believe it's supposed to be based on a book. Interesting. I did not see Marty Supreme. No, not yet. One of those movies I wanted to watch, but did not get a chance to, unfortunately. So yeah, The Electric State. I thought it was okay. Next up, we have, this one. I wish I saw this. First of all, this is a fantastic example of don't listen to ratings or reviews or whatever, because you are always going to have a different opinion than others, and that's totally fine, totally valid. If you think you're excited for something, just freaking go watch it. You might love it, who knows. And this is for Drop. This movie got a lot of low ratings. I'm talking like 2.7 on Letterboxd, pretty low on IMDb. I think the Rotten Tomatoes were low, so I was gonna see it in theaters. I was excited for it. It's directed by Christopher Landon, who, if you don't know Christopher Landon, he directed the Happy Death Day movies. He directed Freaky. I think he was supposed to direct Scream 7, and then after that whole thing happened, he dropped out of it. So he, but he directed Drop, and I was looking forward to it because I was like, yeah, I like this guy's movies. I should go check it out. The reviews turned me off of it. I was like, oh, maybe I'm not going to go watch it because everyone says it sucks. So why am I going to waste my money and time and all that to the theaters when I could probably watch another movie? Because I think it came out the same week as another movie. I forget what movie it came out the same week as. It might have been Warfare. I don't remember, but I think I saw Warfare instead in theaters. I don't know. Maybe it was a different week. I don't know. But it was around the time of other movies, so I ended up seeing something else instead. And yeah, I mean, why did I listen to people? It was fucking great. This is easily going to get at least a high B, maybe low A even. No, probably high B. Because I will say the only thing I didn't like about it is there is some like stupid stuff that's like you have to really suspend your disbelief. Like it's like, okay, there's no way this would happen in that way. But if you can get past that stuff, it's a really well made movie. I love the soundtrack. By the way, what was it? Soundtrack composed by Bear McCreary. I can't believe I forgot his name for a second. Bear McCreary is the composer of The Walking Dead, composer of a lot of horror movies, actually, a lot of video games too nowadays. But that soundtrack was great. But I loved like the tension in this. It was so freaking good. It was so intense. It's about this woman who goes on this date. She's a widowed mother, so she's, you know, more anxious over her kid than most. But she's on a date, and first time in a long time, and so she keeps getting these like text messages. So you know, like the AirDrop feature on the phone, she keeps getting these drops that are like creepy messages that are like threatening her and stuff. And I'm not going to spoil like what actually is going on, but it's so intense. Just like she's not telling her date like what's happening because the person keeps telling her like, if you say anything, I'll kill your son. And I guess they have like cameras and stuff, and like they're listening in the room, and it's again, it suspends some disbelief in how this even happened. But I don't know, I really enjoyed how that went down. But I think it could have had a little bit more logic put into it, and it would have been a bit higher for me. But B tier is still really, it's a high B for sure, maybe even low A. I might change it later. That's surprising because Drop is 83% fresh. Really? Maybe it was the Letterboxd ratings that turned me off. I don't remember. It was something. Yeah, I don't know. But I remember it getting low ratings somewhere. Maybe it wasn't Rotten Tomatoes then. I don't know. Or was it? Maybe it was. Let me check that out. I don't know if it was like the audience. Maybe it could have just been. It could have just been Letterboxd, because I don't even look at Rotten Tomatoes unless I hear about it on Twitter. Because Twitter will, I mean, discussing film will usually like let people know what the oh no, yeah, it's pretty high on Rotten Tomatoes all throughout. Okay, yeah, so it was really just Letterboxd that turned me away, I guess. The reason I don't usually look at Rotten Tomatoes, again, unless I see it on Twitter, is because the rating system, I don't think it doesn't leave room for nuance. You know what I mean? The system, like Letterboxd, for example, is like you give it a rating and it'll tally up the average rating and put that as the score. So it's very specific, like, okay, it's very down to the number. Whereas Rotten Tomatoes is like, if you liked it or didn't like it, that's really all that matters. And like, to me, that's too simple. So it's like, if a movie has 100% on Rotten Tomatoes, for example, that doesn't mean everyone thought it was a 10 out of 10 perfect film. All it means is everyone at least thought it was decent. That's all it means. So to me, that's like not really a great metric for me personally, because like, it doesn't really tell me how good the movie actually was to most people. All it tells me is that most people thought it was a decent time, which is a decent rating system in one way, though. It's decent because it's telling you like the percent chance that you will at least enjoy your time watching this. That's what that's why they use a percentage, right? But it's not really like, again, it's not getting to the nitty gritty of like, okay, how much will you like it? So that's why I don't usually care too much about Rotten Tomatoes scores. But yeah, again, I usually see them pop up anyways. Oh yeah, Barry McCreary composed Vanguard as well, which honestly got one of the best COD soundtracks, if we're being honest. People hating without watching pisses me off. Oh yeah, no, I don't know why people do that. Like I have a great example of that. I remember I was at a theme park and I was in a line, and I was hearing like these kids talking about the Flash movie. It was like a year ago this happened, and I remember the one kid was like, I'm saying kid, they were like 20 years old, but I don't know. Anybody other younger than me is a kid now. So he was like, oh yeah, let me hear about the Flash movie. He's like, yeah, like it sucked so bad, terrible movie. And he's like, yeah, I didn't see it, but like, I just know it sucks. I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, okay. Next up, Clown in a Cornfield. So yeah, I mean, look, these are my, like, I like these, like, you know, crazy slasher movies that are just kind of like, you know, they're just fun. There's not really, you don't have to take it too seriously. And I think this one was pretty good. I'm not going to give it high. I'm going to give it C tier, but I think it was pretty decent. And I actually really enjoyed the twist. I won't say what the twist is, but I actually really enjoyed it. Like, I thought it's something that Scream should have done years ago. They kind of beat, if Scream ever does this, they beat Scream to it. So I kind of like that. I like the atmosphere to it. I like the way it was shot. It's actually not a bad movie, but there is some like stupid elements to it that turn me away from it a little bit. Like some of the dialogue, I feel like that's always like the thing for horror movies that turns me away. It's like, it was so good, but then it just gets into the bad dialogue. And it's like, all right, man, like you kind of just pissed me off with that, but most of it was pretty good. So definitely enjoyed it, but I wouldn't say it's like a phenomenal movie by any means. At this point, a 25-year-old may seem like a kid to you. I mean, if they're 25 and under, I'm trying to think of how many months I am. I'm 25 in 3 months. So if they're 25 in 2 months, then they're a kid. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Yeah, I don't have much to say about Clown in the Cornfield, though. Decent horror film. Like, if it is the best movie if you're like sitting with a group of friends around the couch, you know, you just want a stupid movie on. This is not a bad one for that. It's not a bad one. But I wouldn't necessarily say it's like a cinematic, you know, masterpiece or anything. It's just okay. It's just okay. Next up, Warfare. Now we're getting to the really good movies. It's crazy how so far I feel like, I mean, this is kind of tracks for most years. I feel like most years don't start off that great, which is funny to say because 2026 so far, I've seen 2 2026 movies. It's a fucking great year so far. I loved both the movies so far I saw this year, which we're not ranking on this list, obviously, because they're not 2025 movies. But this year is starting off phenomenal. Gonna be seeing Send Help, Sam Raimi's new movie, in a few days. Got like a early access thing or whatever, so I'm looking forward to that. But yeah, this year starting off strong. Regardless, you know, 2025 did not start off strong. I feel like not a single A or S tier for the first like 4 months of the year. Definitely not great. But yeah, Warfare was pretty great. I'm still not going to put it in A, though. I'm probably going to put it in B. I might even put it below Drop, because I feel like this movie, it was really solid, but it's also not like a story focused movie. It's really just a experience kind of movie where you're meant to be there to experience like the horrors of war, like what these soldiers are going through. And in terms of realism, it gets really freaking like very realistic with it, whether it's the injuries that these soldiers face or like just the events happening, the fear that they feel you know, not all of them, but a lot of them do. And even down to like the sound effects of the guns. Like I always say this, I appreciate when a movie can have realistic gun sounds, because I feel like a lot of movies treat guns like toys. And I always kind of, I don't know, if it's a, you know, like a fun movie, that's totally fine with me, I guess. But if it's like you're trying to go for a serious route, you should treat guns in a more serious way, where like they should be freaking loud. Like they should be blasting your eardrums, because they're loud. Depends on, there's some guns that are softer, quieter, but most of them are pretty loud. So you really need to like, if you want to make a serious movie that involves guns, you need to present them that way. And I think Warfare does a great job at that. It's directed by Alex Garland, who directed Civil War. And Civil War was the same way. Like the gun sounds were freaking loud. And I mean, hearing this in the theaters, man, my ears were in pain the whole time because that was freaking loud. But yeah, it's again, it's not like a story centric movie because it's not about this long, like running story. It's literally just one like mission gone wrong that is just, again, hard to watch. So I definitely recommend it if you want a movie like that. It's which is, this is why I just kind of a side tangent. There's a Call of Duty movie coming out next year. Call of Duty is in no way the type of franchise where it's like trying to represent war in like a very like, realistic manner. It's way more over the top than that. So a lot of people were saying Alex Garland should direct the Call of Duty movie because of Warfare. And I was like, I don't think this tone would fit a Call of Duty movie. Call of Duty is more, it's more explosive, more bigger and crazier and like unrealistic, like over the top scenes, like someone, falling down a, skyscraper and grabbing a gun midair and shooting people mid. Like that's what Call of Duty is, not this. So I don't think this would be I always thought just because of this movie, I don't think he was the best choice for that, which he's obviously not directing it. Obviously we know that now. But yeah, great movie. Like I said, highly recommend. It's hard to watch, so that's the most important thing to keep in mind going into this. There's also like practically zero soundtrack to the film. It's just like you're meant to feel like you're there, basically. Do you plan on seeing any new movies in theaters this month? Send Help or Mercy? Oh yeah, Send Help I'm going to be seeing. It's an early access thing I'm going to on the 24th, I think, something like that. So it's like kind of like a week early, and I'm excited for that. Mercy though, probably not. I want to watch Mercy, but I don't think I want to watch it so much that I'm going to see it in theaters. I'm probably just going to wait till that comes out on streaming to watch. Yes, I did watch The Long Walk. Yes, that's going to be posted to the channel hopefully someday. I'm really behind on movie reactions when it comes to the YouTube edits, so they're all on Patreon, but when they come to YouTube's, it'll take some time. It'll take some time. All right. Up next, Novocaine. So, a lot of people, or not a lot of people, but like there was a couple people that told me I should react to this. And I will tell you this, I did want to react to it, but I looked at YouTube and I noticed the reviews or the reactions that were posted, they didn't have a ton of views, at least most of them. So I thought to myself, like, I don't know. I don't think it would be worth it because I'm so many others. I have to pick and choose which ones I react to, just to keep that in mind. Like, it's not like I'm sitting there like just choosing to watch less movies for the channel. It's more so I have to pick and choose which ones I want to react to. And so it's between like this or The Long Walk. I thought The Long Walk would be a better one to react to. And then this one was more of a leisure, free time sort of a thing. And I think I made a good choice there because I like this movie. I thought it was fun, but I didn't love it as much as I wish I did. I'm going to put it in C tier. I think the concept is phenomenal. Like, I love the idea of it. I love movies like this where it's a guy who's clearly not like a badass and he's not good at fighting, but he's only able to be decent at fighting because he can take an ass kicking. And that's the whole point of this movie. He's this guy, he has this illness where he can't feel pain. Like, it's just zero pain. And so when he's in fights, if he gets like, obviously the injury can still cause him to die, if he bleeds out or something, but like if he gets stabbed, he's just not going to feel it. Right. So it makes for some really entertaining action scenes. But I feel like there was so much more with this that they could have done. There was one twist in the movie that I loved. I was like, holy shit, that's an awesome twist. But I feel like, again, they didn't do much with it beyond that. They kind of like fell short as to what they could have done. Jack Quaid is really fun to watch in this, though. I had a good time with it. But I didn't think it was like phenomenal or anything. In The Dark Knight, the shots fired when they were demonstrating the bullet fragment scanning tech scared the shit out of me. Yeah, Christopher Nolan does great with sound design too, especially for guns. That's true. Novocaine was fun. I love Novocaine a lot. Yeah, I think I probably liked it less than most, but I still thought it was decent. I had fun with it. C tier is like movies I would say are fine. Like I recommend them, but I don't necessarily love them. Like you have to give me some sort of emotional attachment or something. You have to give me something if it's going to go to B tier, you know? That's the way I see that. Oh yeah, no, he did have some badass moments. Why do you want the COD movie to follow the exact story of COD 4 to MW3? We don't need 3 versions of the same COD story. Not exactly the same, but I do think we need an adaptation of it. Like because the thing is like the story where it's presented in the game, like it's obviously great, but there's so much more you could expand on it and like present it in a way that's better. You know what I mean? Because it's not like it's a heavy cinematic cutscene game. Those are older games that are mostly like gameplay based. And I feel like seeing those moments in live action, I think would be pretty awesome. But not like word for word. I don't want it to be like a freaking shot to shot adaptation. We need like a scene of Captain Price in his underwear for that. I don't know why I said that. But there's no scenes of Captain Price in his underwear. You know what I mean? Like we don't need to see him like, you know, a whole 20 mission of him just going about whatever with soap or whatever. But I do think that story needs to be adapted at least partially. You can, you know, change up some elements that fit the movie better, but, you know, I don't know. I would love to see it. I definitely want to watch Silent Night, Deadly Night. Yes. That was a movie from this year that I wanted to watch. Didn't get a chance to. Or from last year. Okay. Next up, Borderline. This movie is borderline trash. No, I mean, it's not awful, but I was disappointed with this movie because the cast is phenomenal. You got Ray Nicholson, you got Samara Weaving, and the concept is great. He's this crazy, just crazy dude who has this obsession over this pop star and basically thinks he has this like personal relationship with her when he actually doesn't. And so there's this very like uncomfortableness to that. But what I think sucks about this movie that just ruined it for me is that, first of all, this concept could have been treated in not necessarily like a serious way, but like in that direction, whereas it just went full on goof, which again, I don't mind that in some cases, but I feel like this type of movie should have been that. Also, this movie has 1,000 different characters and plot lines. Why is there a million different things going on? All it needed to be was Ray Nicholson and Samara Weaving, and that's it. Why do we need all these other characters to be involved? All these other, like, every other scene with other people in this movie, I thought was just so stupid. I'm like, what? Why? You're ruining the concept of the movie. I don't know, man. It is a comedy, though, so yeah, I understand why it went for a more comedic route. But I don't know. I just felt like I was watching it the whole time. I'm like, dude, I see a really good movie in here, and it's just not. I'm not, you know, it's not there. You know what I mean? So it's unfortunate. I brought more water this time. I usually don't do that. This is good. Not a big movie guy, but I think besides 28 years later, this was probably my most fun movie experience of the year. You talking about Novocaine with that one? I think I would have liked it more if I saw it in theaters, probably. That goes for a lot of movies. You know, I'm always like, I think I would have liked that more in theaters. Because like with a big crowd and everything, especially for comedies, I feel like that happens. Are you considering doing a Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul character ranking now that you finally finished Better Call Saul? That actually wasn't something I was thinking of doing, but I think I thought about doing it at one point, and then I didn't think of, and I just kind of like forgot about that. So maybe, who knows? That would be fun. Only issue is I feel like I put everyone in like S tier. Like I genuinely don't think I'd be rating anyone below like A tier, but I could still try it, you know, see what I can do with that. Okay. What's next? A Working Man? Or like a Working Trash? Yeah, no, so this wasn't that good either. I might even put it bottom of D tier. You know what's weird? So I felt the same way about The Beekeeper that came out, what was it, 2024? It's another David Ayer movie. I like David Ayer. Even though I haven't seen that many of his movies. I haven't even seen the movies that people consider to be his best movies. But I actually defend him more than most because I actually think that Suicide Squad has good moments to it. It felt like it was cobbled together by the studio, but I always defended that he probably had a much better vision in mind for that film. But I didn't like The Beekeeper. I thought it was a very generic action movie with Jason Statham. I feel the same way about A Working Man, a very generic action movie with Jason Statham. So if you like those types of movies, you might get something out of it. But I can't tell you that I had any interest in this. I was very bored. There was a couple of action scenes that were good, but I just the characters were so one-dimensional. The plot was so one-dimensional. I can't really get much out of this one, unfortunately. Yeah, I'm sorry. I put The Ugly Stepsister in D. I know a lot of people love that one. I don't know. I didn't like it, unfortunately. If you don't make a tier above S tier just for the Minecraft movie, you lose all credibility. Oh no. You might make a good point. Oh, you know, this is the one I really want to talk about, the next movie on here. I've been waiting to talk about this movie because I feel like this is such a misunderstood film. Like this might, and I think actually it has a pretty big, what do you call it? A pretty big, I'm just looking at my channel real quick just to see something. I feel like I need to change my thumbnail. I don't know. Whatever. So yeah, this movie is The Woman in the Yard. Okay. So I personally didn't love this movie. I'm going to put it bottom of C tier. But the reason I'm going to say it's very misunderstood, I'll tell you why, right? Is because people's reasons for hating this movie, and I'm going to try to say this without spoiling it because I feel like I could very easily accidentally spoil this, so I'm going to try not to spoil it. I think the people's reason for hating it, because I read through a lot of reviews, through a lot of comments. I remember when the movie first came out, people said the way it ended was so awful and so terrible that like it turned them away from the movie. And so that to me got me interested in watching. I was like, what could possibly happen at the end of this film that makes everyone just turn away from the movie and not like it anymore? Like, people told me they loved it until the end. They thought the ending was so bad, such a terrible decision. And everyone kept using like the word like it's like really offensive, it's really horrible. And I feel like, to me, in my perspective after watching this, I didn't love the movie, hence why I'm putting it in C tier. But I feel like that's not the reason why I didn't like it. I just didn't like it because I felt like everything leading up to that moment was just kind of average. But the ending, again, I'm not going to spoil it. Something happens where a lot of people interpret the ending as the writers of this film saying that what happens is a good thing. And I think this is a big misunderstanding a lot of people have with all movies and all media nowadays. And I think it's just a huge problem with media literacy, where people think that just because something happens in a movie, it means the writers are actively like speaking about their support of that thing. And I don't think that makes sense personally. Like, movies aren't meant to be a vessel of whatever happens is what you believe. That's not necessarily the case. There is definitely themes and messages and beliefs that could be presented from the film, but they're not meant to be this overt, like, what happens is what you believe. No, the writer is not saying the ending of this is a good thing, that the person, that what they do in the end is what they should have done. That is not what, like, I don't see how you could watch this and interpret that. It's a fucked up ending. It's supposed to be fucked up. It's not supposed to be a good ending. It's not supposed to be happy. It's a horror film. Lots of horror films have unhappy endings that just absolutely shock you and make you go, what the fuck? That's awful. But I don't see it as this person is actively saying that this is a good thing. Like, that to me is I'm like, I don't get that criticism. But, you know, we can always agree to disagree all we want. But I actually thought the metaphor they were going for in the end and what happens, like, it was shocking. And again, it was fucked up, but I thought it made it for an impactful end. Again, no way did I think that the writers were saying that that's a good thing that happened. Like, I just don't get that. Like, how can you watch a movie and just the whole time you're thinking, oh, the writer's actively saying that every decision this character makes is a good thing? What? Do you ever watch more than one movie if you say that? Like, I don't know. I don't get it. It's like, how can you watch like American Psycho? Do you watch American Psycho and the whole time you're going, oh my God, the writers think that this is a good guy? Like, Do you want them to stop in the middle of the movie and have the character like say, by the way, I'm not supposed to be doing this. This is a bad thing. Like, no, like it's a movie. You're watching a story get presented, a story with complex characters, sometimes bad people. And in this case, it was a character that needed help. And again, I'm not going to spoil what happens, but what they did is not supposed to be considered a good thing. I don't know. I don't get it. Still not a great movie though. Like I'm defending, that's how you know I'm unbiased. I'm defending the hell out of the movie that I didn't even like that much. So there's no bias here. I don't really care for this movie that much. I just don't get how that could be the reason why people hated this. Regardless, can't disagree with you if you did hate it though. I will say it would have worked better as a short film. I think there wasn't enough content to this movie, I think, for a full film. That was one of the things I thought of when I watched it. I was like, this could have been a really powerful, like 15-minute short film, but as a full movie, I don't know. I'm not really sure about that. What do you think should do the COD movie? I vote Shane Black. Oh, they've already confirmed who's directing it. I believe Peter Berg is, right? Peter Berg? Yeah, Peter Berg is directing the Call of Duty movie. He's directed Deepwater Horizon, Hancock, Lone Survivor, Battleship. I actually think he's a great pick. Like, he's a fantastic pick for it. And I think the writer, what was the writer's name? I think it was Taylor Sheridan, right? Yeah, Taylor Sheridan. He wrote Sicario, I think, right? So yeah, I think that Call of Duty movie's in good hands, to be honest. I think it's in good hands. I always thought that I had a couple of picks for who I thought. I know everyone was saying Michael Bay, and I was like, I don't know. Michael Bay, I'm sure would have done fine, but I don't think that would have been his type of movie. Like, I don't know. I always thought Sam Hargrave would have been great, though. He directed the Extraction films. He would have been good for a Call of Duty movie for sure. But I'm happy with what we're getting. Shane Black would have been interesting too. Yeah. Woman in the Yard has 2 endings? Really? I wonder what the other ending was. I don't know. Okay, now we got a Minecraft movie. Oh, I'm so happy to talk about this piece of garbage. You know why this movie pisses me off so much? I'm going to tell you why. I have been defending the idea of a live action Minecraft movie for years. You can probably find tweets from me from like 5 years ago, because they announced that they were doing a live action Minecraft movie ages ago, and everybody was like, that is so stupid. Why would they do that? Just do an animated film. I always said, I see the vision. There is a fantastic movie you can make out of that. You can do, like, I love Minecraft. I'm a big fan of the game, right? It's got a lot to it. And the thing about Minecraft, and people always tell me like, oh, that never made sense because there's no story to it. But you're not thinking creatively if you say that. Yes, there isn't a linear, like, telling you the story. There is a creative story that you can come up with in your mind just based on the characters that exist there. Like, there's so many different things. Like, there's the villages, there's the nether, there's different creatures, and there's all sorts of elements to this world. There's different biomes. There's so much you can get into. And so I always had this crazy idea in my head of what a Minecraft movie could look like, where you wouldn't have the blocky aesthetic of it. You wouldn't have all that shit. Because honestly, that's what partially, like, yeah, when they announced it was going to be like that, I didn't think it was going to work as well, because I was like, okay, obviously they're going to lean into the goofy side of it. But I think there's actually a serious sort of like almost horror movie you could make out of it, right? Where this was the idea I had. You have a character. It could be Steve. I don't give a shit. I mean, not played by Jack Black, hopefully, but I love Jack Black, but that wasn't my favorite casting. You would have him like, maybe he's a pilot or something, right? He's flying through the sky, and he goes through this like secret portal to the Minecraft world. And this world, you're stuck there. Like, if you accidentally end up there, there is no way to escape. Zero way. And he learns that from the villagers. Maybe he lands in this, and it's just like this big infinite world that he basically just finds himself into. And it's just like, it's like the only way to get there is this portal, like very far off in the ocean that he was exploring. I don't know, some part of the world that he ended up there, whatever. And it would be interesting to kind of like have this theme where it's like Minecraft, the world, is a bunch of stuff that ends up there because people get lost on their journeys on Earth, and then they end up in that world, which is kind of why Minecraft has that like medieval aesthetic to it. But they also have some like they have different like eras of stuff within the game, right? There's nothing too new, and the reason why there's nothing too new, there's no guns or anything like that, is because you could say that he's the first person who's entered this world in like hundreds of thousands of years. So it's like everything is still medieval there, right? But you learn that there's magic to the world, there's creatures, there's all this weird shit, there's freaking an ender dragon, like there's all this crazy stuff, and it would be presented in a way where it's actually like they're not blocky, it's actually like a live action version of it. Like, have you ever seen those like live action artwork people do for like what the creeper would look like or what the enderman would look like? There's actual live action versions of it you could make that's not like a blocky mess. And I think that concept is freaking interesting, and it would be about literally this character learning about this world and just having to grow to be a part of it because he knows there's no way of him getting out of there. Maybe there's villagers there. I always had this idea, the villagers like trick him because they really want the egg from the ender dragon, right? Because the ender dragon has an egg. They want a dragon of their own because they're part of this village, and it's a civilization just like any other civilization where people get attacked, people attack each other, and they're trying to protect their village. They want a dragon. So they convince him to help them secure the dragon egg from the ender dragon. That's the whole movie. And then partially through the movie, he learns that there actually is no way to get home. Maybe the villagers lie to him and say that the dragon egg is what they need to get home. But then he finds out that's not actually the case. They just need it to protect themselves. But he ends up growing to care about these villagers and actually wanting to be a part of their community. So he helps them anyways. And that would be the movie. You go the whole on, like all the events of Minecraft go down. They go to the nether, then they go to the end in the end, and they fight the ender dragon. Like, dude, that would be a fucking amazing movie. But instead, we get Jack Black, Jason Momoa, literally teleporting to the Minecraft world, and not just like a live action version of it, like literally a blocky thing with the most ridiculous fucking goofy plot possible. I don't know, man. It's not what I wanted out of it at all. So F tier. I'm sorry. It was just garbage. I hated it. I will say though, I had some fun with it. Like there were some moments where I was, okay, that's kind of funny. Like whatever. Like, yeah, it's a kid's movie. I know. But here's my thought process there, right? Because what I was describing, that could be a kid's movie, but also an adult could enjoy that, right? I do think what I was describing would be a movie made for all generations easily. But instead they made this, which is clearly just for kids, and which I think the reason that was a mistake is because Minecraft fans aren't just kids anymore. I mean, honestly, I would argue a lot of them are adults now because that's what we grew up on. I mean, I was playing Minecraft when I was 8 years old back in 2008. Like, or what was it? Was 2010? When did it come out? Was like, I think it came out on PC in like 2007 or something, but then on Xbox came out a few years later. I did play it on PC a little bit before it. So I was always into it, and I was always like, you know, enjoyed it. But like most of those kids who grew up on that, like they're older now. You would think that they would try to mature the movie and the tone of it and do something a little bit more interesting, like what I just described. But they just decided to do what I thought was the stupidest plot imaginable. And I like hated the fact how they brought in their own shit. You know what I mean? Like if you're going to adapt Minecraft, make it Minecraft stuff. Why are we not like involving more Minecraft? Like they had probably 10% of actual Minecraft stuff in it. You know what I mean? Like it should be authentic to the game. I don't know, man. I don't know. Actually, a great example of what this movie should have been like tone-wise is the Dungeons and Dragons movie. Have you guys seen that movie from what was it? What was it called? It was called Dungeons and Dragons Honor Among Thieves, I think. Yeah. Tonally, it should have been like this movie, which is actually a great movie, by the way. Like, tonally, it should have been like that. But, no. It's kind of hard to explain without you watching the movie, but that movie went with the tone that I think, yeah, this Minecraft movie should have had, and they just didn't. And it hurts, like I said, because I had faith in it. I always thought it would have been good. And I think once they announced Jack Black as Steve, that's when I was like, okay, no, this is not going to be what I was hoping it to be. This is going to be some stupid shit. And I was right. Yeah, it might have been 2009. I think it came out on PC a little earlier than that, though, if I'm not mistaken. I think there's like early versions of it, but I played one of the first editions of it. Like I was early with that game. I don't remember. Minecraft on Xbox though, it probably was like 2010, 2011 though. Yeah. Imagine a Minecraft movie done by Phil Lord and Christopher Miller. Yeah, they would have done good with it, I think. I don't know. I always, the reason why I argued that the live action idea I just had is honestly more interesting than the doing just the animated version is because I think that's an interesting like change for it, right? Like I don't think you need the blocky feel to it for it to be Minecraft. To me, that's not like the only thing it needs to be Minecraft, you know? There's a lot of other things than Minecraft that would have worked. And also, if you play the Telltale Minecraft game, I'm like, you already have your Minecraft movie right there anyways, you know? Okay. We got to move on. The first actually really fantastic movie of 2025, Sinners. I'm going to put this in S tier. I think it deserves it. I'm probably going to put my top 10. If you see my top 10 movies of the year, you already know what my top 10 is. But I'm probably just going to put my top 10 in S tier. I don't think any of them will drop to A. So yeah, Sinners deserves S tier. This was a fantastic movie, start to finish. But I think the third act is really what did it for me. Like I enjoyed the first two acts, but you know, if you were to tell me, like if I could only have one part of this movie, I think everyone's picking the third act, and I agree. I freaking love that shit. I think it was one of the best vampire movies I've seen. Even though vampires were not the only element to it, that was definitely one of the most interesting elements to it. Yeah, I absolutely loved the performance from Michael B. Jordan there as well. Like I mean, a lot of movies this year where someone played more than one character, but I think he was one of the best at it. The music was great. I think it was Ludwig, right? Was it Ludwig? I gotta check because I don't remember. I'm pretty positive it was Ludwig. Yeah, he composed it. One of my favorite composers for sure. It's crazy how we still haven't gotten A tier. No A tiers yet. Yeah, definitely S. I'm not going to talk about my S tiers a little too much because I did, like I said, I already made that top 10 video, so I definitely recommend just checking that out. But yeah, I mean, what else is there to say about Sinners that already hasn't been said? It's a great movie. It is. Great in IMAX too. Definitely was one of the best IMAX experiences of the year. So this is a great example. Like you got to watch movies in IMAX. If you're not seeing movies in IMAX, you're doing something wrong. Unless you don't live near an IMAX theater. But man, you know, I recommend finding the nearest one and seeing more movies in IMAX because you will never want to go back once you do. It's actually unhealthy. Maybe it was a bad idea because now I like don't want to see movies that aren't in IMAX. Yeah, that was great though. Until Dawn, more like Until Ass. I don't know why I keep doing that. I keep yeah, another video game movie that wasn't too good. I actually never played the Until Dawn game, by the way. I never did, and that's why I watched it, because if I okay, I'll tell you this. What was I gonna say? Oh, the game I heard isn't anything like the movie, right? That's what I heard. So that's why I watched it, because I was like, if it's not based on the game, then I'm not going to spoil the game for myself, because I do want to play the game someday. I really do. So I knew it wouldn't be a big deal. I wouldn't be spoiling anything. And yeah, it's garbage. I'm sorry. This is one of those just bottom of the barrel horror movies. It's just, it has some like decent scares, I guess. But you know, I really, I don't know. David F. Sandberg is the director. He directed Shazam. I like the Shazam movies, so I don't know. I was a little excited to watch it. I thought it actually probably would have been decent, but no. The concept was good though. It's just, you know, again, there's so many movies where it's like you have a great idea and you just don't execute the idea in any interesting way whatsoever. Just one-dimensional characters, boring characters, bad dialogue, mostly boring jump scares. But yeah, I don't know. Some of it was entertaining, but not a lot of it. Until Yawn. That was a better that was a better thing to say. All my IMAX movies are later in the day, and I like to watch movies in the morning. That would be a problem, yeah. Ludwig is going to be the composer for the Odyssey as well. Yes, he's now like the composer for Christopher Nolan and Ryan Coogler. But fun fact, he also composed The Mandalorian. A lot of people don't know that, the Mandalorian series. I do miss Hans Zimmer working with Christopher Nolan. He hasn't worked with Christopher Nolan in a while, right? But Ludwig is honestly almost just as good as Hans Zimmer, so like it's okay. And Hans Zimmer has still been getting some good work anyways with other movies. I think the duo of Christopher Nolan and Hans Zimmer is like unbeatable though. Like the only other duo that comes close to that is Steven Spielberg and John Williams, but you know. Okay. Don't have much else to say about Until Dawn. Just wasn't a great movie. Thunderbolts. I have been thinking about this movie so freaking much. S tier. I even liked it more than Sinners. I think this movie, even though I already was liking Marvel, I think it genuinely saved the reputation for Marvel to such a large degree, because this made people realize that yes, they can make really good movies again. It's freaking great, man. I think I liked it more as time went on, as time has gone on, because I've thought about it more. I've watched reactions to it more often. I have like listened to the soundtrack on repeat. Dude, Sunlux, their soundtrack here, oh my freaking dude, it's so good. I think this genuinely has one of my favorite soundtracks of all time. Not even just of Marvel. I think of all time, top 50 at least. It's freaking amazing. The main theme, the theme when Bucky's coming out with the motorcycle, the theme for, they're all like remixes of the same like Thunderbolts theme, but oh dude, it's so good, so fucking good. Yeah, it's incredible. It's a very different kind of Marvel movie too, because especially the way it ends, like there isn't some big action set piece with like, you know, a bunch of crazy monster, like a big monster, or like a bunch of, you know, it's not like a typical ending. Like the end is literally a fight against themselves, if anything, which sounds cringe when you say it, but dude, it works. It's fucking great. It touches a lot of mental illness. It touches on isolation, like loneliness, and it's a beautiful redemption. I think this is one of the best tales of redemption that Marvel could have done. Loved it, man. This is Suicide Squad done right. You know, it's so good. It made so many characters so much better too. I like John Walker a lot more. I like Yelena a lot more. Lexi's a lot better. Bucky is this is the one thing I don't like about this movie. Bucky is underutilized. They treat Bucky like a background character, but you know what? Whatever. The other characters had time to shine anyways. Bucky had that great moment, don't get me wrong, but I mean like overall, he didn't have much story growth. He didn't have much development, whereas the other characters had a significant amount of development, a significant amount of scenes with great dialogue. Bucky didn't really do much though. But yeah, I loved it. Absolutely loved it. I'm so excited because the director of this, Jake Schreier, he's directing the X-Men movie. So the next X-Men movie, I think it's going to come out in 2028 probably, right? That's at least the rumored date for it. Probably could be later than that though. I don't know. But I think he's going to knock it out of the park, man. He did a great job with this, did a great job with this team up. So he's going to do probably a great job with X-Men. I don't know if I'll do Five Nights at Freddy's 2 reaction. Maybe. I'm not really excited to watch it, but I think it'd be funny to do it. Seen your tweet about watching Interstellar in IMAX. I did the same, and it was amazing. It was. It really was. I noticed that your last 4 tier movies went bottom to the top, then back to the bottom, then back to the top again with no between. Yeah, that's true. I guess what was this, like April to May? It was a very interesting month of movies, I guess. This all over the place. Okay, yeah, I feel like we're starting to get to like the movies I actually really enjoyed now, because we're in for a couple of solid back-to-back ones here. Final Destination Bloodlines is an easy A tier for me. I was so surprised by this because I feel like this movie had very high chances of just being straight ass. Because, it's a horror movie. Horror movies have a good chance of being ass nowadays. I feel like a lot of great ones, but there's also a lot of bad ones too. So I was like, this could be really either way, especially because it's a horror sequel, first one that we had since 2011. So I was like, this could definitely end up being bad. But dude, it surprised the hell out of me. It is honestly like one of my favorite Final Destination movies. I think what worked so well about it is the characters. Like, it's actually got really good characters that you actually care about, which doesn't always happen with these movies. Like, a lot of them, people just watch them because they're fun, watch people die kind of thing, whatever. Let's watch people die in ridiculous ways. But this felt like there was more to it than that. There was genuine heart to it. There was emotion, and the characters were actually really good. The soundtrack was great. The kills were pretty good, but I wouldn't necessarily say that was like the standout part of it. It was just, an added element. Yeah, there was pretty good kills. It was also different too. Like the fact that it was a family, because usually these movies are a friend group getting killed off one by one, but this was a family, which is why it's called Final Destination Bloodlines, obviously. And the concept of like, people dying, them dying in the order of like, what was it? The order of them being born, or at least the order that they would have been born if the thing that happened didn't happen. That was a really cool concept. So yeah, I got a lot out of this. I loved it. I know most people did. I'm glad most people did. I was worried this was going to be one of those movies where people were like, I was like in a little bubble liking it, but no, most people came out of this thinking that, yeah, it's a pretty damn good Final Destination movie. I don't know if it's my favorite Final Destination. I want to say it is, but I feel like 3 is a little bit better. Attack on Titan soon. Oh, I would love to react to that. I just know it's going to be a bitch when it comes to the copyright, because I know, at least I've heard that copyright is really rough with that, right? But we'll see. I want to. I've heard it's really good. I didn't watch the full Lord of the Rings trilogy in theaters, but I did see Return of the King in theaters though. So that was fantastic. Patriot Games and Clear and Present Danger. Maybe one day. I don't know. I have to add those to my watch list at least. All right. Yeah, Final Destination was great. Not much else to say there, to be honest. I talked about it a little bit. I mean, I guess I did like a review for it, but I also talked a little bit about it in my top 10 because it was a honorable mention, but wasn't quite in my top 10. Okay. Still got a lot more movies left, man. Still got a lot more movies left. And we haven't gotten to like the funniest ones yet, because there are some funny ones. Like in terms of them being so bad, but I don't know why it's fun to talk about like bad movies sometimes. I don't know. Something fun about it. Which is why I don't mind watching them. Like, it is fun to talk about regardless if they're, if they're good or bad. It's fun to talk about. Okay. Next up, Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning. I love this franchise so much, man. This might be one of my favorite franchises of all time, because it's like there's 8 of them now, and I don't think a single one of them is like bad. Mission Impossible 2 is the only one that's like not great, but literally every other one is at least a solid movie. And I will say there's elements of this that did disappoint me, because I mean, first of all, it's the final Mission Impossible, at least like a final in the main movies. I'm sure they're going to do a spinoff or something down the line. But like, for being the final one, I don't think it wrapped up the story in the way I personally wanted it to. Like, it wasn't perfect of an ending, but it still is a Mission Impossible movie. There are some crazy stunts, some crazy sequences that are breathtaking. That submarine scene was insane. The plane scene as well. Like, there's so many great scenes. So at the very least, I'm giving this A tier, but I don't think it's going to quite get S tier for me though. I still loved it. It's not as good as the previous one. It's not as good as Dead Reckoning. It's not as good as Fallout, but I still loved it. Still loved it. It is sad though, because I want to see more of these. Actually, one issue I had as well that I didn't think about is the composer. They had Lauren Balfe for most of these movies, and then this one just didn't have him. And I always thought that was weird because it's like he's one of the best parts of those movies were the music. And so I felt that in this one. I feel like the music wasn't nearly as good. Disagree. I love Mission Impossible 2. Honestly, I did really enjoy it. I just think it's my least favorite, but I still had fun with it, you know? Something about it. But yeah, very consistent franchise, very strong franchise. I do think it's a franchise like I mostly like better as it went along. Like I started liking them more and more. Like 4, 5, 6, and 7 are like to me the best. Especially Fallout is, I think, one of the best movies ever made. So, do you think Mission Impossible ended their franchise at Final Reckoning Part 2? Do you think it ends there, or do you think they might go for more, maybe like 9 or 10? I can see them doing spin-offs, but I don't know about like continuing the movie itself. Like I can see them doing like I don't know, some kind of like legacy spin-off thing where it's like they take a character from the movies and then like do a movie off of them, and maybe like Ethan will have like an appearance in it or something. But I don't know. I mean, yeah, I don't know. I want to see if Ethan, did Tom Cruise say anything about that? Like, did he ever say anything about them doing more movies? Because I feel like I remember him hearing like say something. He wants to keep making Mission Impossible movies as long as possible. Yeah, but see, like he did say that. That's true. But it is marketed as a finale. It's literally called The Final Reckoning. I mean, to be fair, how many times have movies had final in the title and then it's not the final movie? Like what was it, Friday the 13th, the final chapter or whatever? Like they do that all the time. So I don't know. They could definitely do a 9th one, but I don't know. I wouldn't be against it. Like I said, I freaking love these movies. I love Ethan Hunt. But I feel like there is such thing as like, you know, you can't overdo it. And also, if they don't have Christopher McQuarrie for them, not that no one else can direct a Mission Impossible movie. Obviously, someone else can, but I feel like I'd be less confident in it if it wasn't him. Now, Joseph Kosinski, I think, would do a damn good job because he did Top Gun Maverick with Tom Cruise as well. So I think you could definitely get him to do it. Or fuck, let Tom Cruise direct it himself. I don't know. Why not? I know he's been kind of getting into directing recently, at least when it comes to like he's been helping people like shoot. I don't think he's actually directed his own film. Yeah, I don't think he's ever directed his own film, but I know he's like helped direct, I guess. So I would think that would be interesting if he ever decided to do that, but I doubt it. My favorite is Ghost Protocol, and 3 is so underrated, but I think it's good. Yeah, they're all good. They're all definitely good. 3 is pretty good too. Definitely love that franchise, and I do hope to see more. Okay. Now what's next? Bring Her Back. Okay, this was one that was in my top 10 as well. Easy S tier. I will say I have a reaction to this coming out, hopefully in the next few weeks. I don't know. I have to get to editing it. Unfortunately, it takes a while to edit videos. So, but I loved Bring Her Back, man. This is from, I swear, I just saw a bug in the side of my room. It scared the shit out of me. What the hell was that? I don't know. I think there's like there's a spider over there. I don't know. I'm just gonna stay away from it. Hopefully it just disappears into, I don't know, a void or something. So Bring Her Back, directed by the Philippou brothers, also known as Raka Raka, their YouTube channel. I loved Talk to Me, was their first movie that they made, so I was excited for this, and this was even better. This was a movie about this brother and sister who their father dies. That's not a spoiler. It happens in the first like minute of the movie. And they go to the foster mother, and they basically learn that this mother is hiding this secret, to say the least. And it's extremely eerie But I think what works best isn't even the horror elements. Like, this is one of those movies where the non-horror elements actually worked better than the horror elements to me. Like, I loved the brother sister bond here. It was such a good, like, it was so well acted, and you really cared about the two of them. Now, obviously, some people didn't like certain directions the movie went towards the end, and I can understand it. It's definitely fucked up, but I still loved this movie. Hard to watch, like that cantaloupe scene. Oh my god, man. But what really did it for me, I think I love movies like this. Kind of reminds me of Speak No Evil, where it's like a character gets involved in something where they're around someone who they don't know has this secret about them, but they're so eerie in social interactions that you feel like there is something wrong about them and that they're doing something wrong, but you don't know for sure. Like, I love movies like that, man. And this is like that, where it's like the brother of this family, he's like, he knows something's wrong, and he can tell that this mother is trying to manipulate his sister and like get her to like hate him, because she just wants the sister. She doesn't want the brother. So like, it's so interesting, the shit she does. It's so fucked up. Like, it's like psychological torture, but I don't know. I loved it. So well directed. Definitely one of my favorites of the year for sure. Highly, highly recommended. Favorite character from Dexter? Probably Dexter. I mean, if we're not talking, like, I'll say other than Dexter, because that's like an obvious answer. Probably Deborah. That's even more obvious. It's like the two main characters. Well, let's say other than those two. Angel, maybe Angel. Yeah. Okay. Ooh, this one's gonna get me some heat. So Eddington, I can admit this was a movie that I am an unpopular opinion on this one, and I'm sure on a rewatch maybe I'd like it more. I don't know. I didn't like it that much, and that is Eddington, directed by Ari Aster, which I like Ari Aster's movies. This one I didn't love. Now, it's not for the reasons that I feel like a lot of people hated it, because I actually saw, this is kind of a divisive movie. I saw people loving it. I think it's like one of the best movies of the year. I saw people saying it was fantastic, like so crazy, so interesting, so relevant. I don't, but again, I also saw other people, because like I said, it was divisive, who hated it. And the people who I saw who hated it, pretty much all of them said a very similar thing, where they hated it because they were offended by it, right? There's two very different parts of the political spectrum here. Both of the sides were offended by it, which I think is interesting. And that, to me, I can give credit to this movie, because I think it's an interesting thing that it was able to somehow offend both sides of the political spectrum. I don't know. To me, that's interesting, right? But I'm not one of those people. I'm not one of those people that was offended by this movie at all. I just thought it was boring. Didn't have any interest in the story whatsoever. Genuinely, like, I wasn't interested in it. Yes, it's a very satirical, like, it's trying to represent like COVID era politics, I guess. And it's very satirical, obviously, in the way it's presented. A lot of stuff involved in like the controversy around masks, especially. But I just didn't get a lot out of it personally. That one aspect of it I thought was kind of interesting, though. Like, I think that it's interesting it was able to offend so many different people in different ways. But again, it goes back to the conversation I had, where it's like, I feel like people, they do jump to like, oh, this is happening in the movie, therefore the director supports. Like, I don't think that's what that means. Sometimes a director is just showing you a story and representing it in any way they seem fit, whether it's satirical or meant to be, I don't know, depends on the tone they're going for. Like, that's all I felt like this movie was trying to do. And like I said, I'm sure I would enjoy it more on a rewatch, but I didn't enjoy it. Like, I just was bored by it, to be honest. So that's the best I could say about it. I did like Joaquin Phoenix in it, though. He was really good. He's one of my favorite actors. So, I'm never going to not like Joaquin Phoenix performance, but I don't know. I wanted to like Eddington so much, but it was super self-indulgent. I mean, yeah, I don't know if that's the reason I didn't love it, but that could be part of it, maybe mentally, just I think it was just me. I just wasn't interested in it. Like there was a couple of scenes that I thought were good, like that I thought were interesting. I don't know why. One of my favorite scenes is the freaking scene where there's that, what's that song that like he goes to that party and turns off the song on the thing because they're playing really loud and everyone's like wearing a mask and they're like, you know, that's one of the scenes that I remember being like, I don't know, but it was something about like the sound design of like the song kind of like getting louder and louder as he got closer to it. I don't know, stuff like that I thought was kind of interesting, but most of it I just didn't care for. When I saw Until Dawn, I was the only one in the theater, and it really enhanced the experience. One jump scare in particular had me ready to leave. I thought it was a fun watch, though. That has happened with me before, where it's like a horror movie, you watch it, and it's like you're one of the only people in the theater, and it does enhance it. That is true. Like, I think Skinamarink, which is a movie I did not like, but if I saw that in theaters with no one else in there, I think I would have liked it more because I would have wanted to leave. I would have been like so freaking creeped out by it. I would have had to leave. I think the only time I've ever been in a theater where I'm like the only person in the theater, I think Morbius, actually. I think Morbius, there was literally no one there. Favorite antagonist from Dexter? Trinity Killer for sure. He's the reason season 4 was so good. I just spilled water on myself. Oh yeah, it was Fireworks by Katy Perry. That was a, yeah. Great song, by the way. Great song. Okay. Dangerous Animals. This was a movie I didn't even intend to watch. I think I just randomly put it on one day. And I was like, fuck it, I'm watching this. And honestly, I kind of fucking liked it. I didn't love it, but I kind of liked it. I'm putting it in C tier. It was actually not that bad. I actually would recommend it. It's about this killer, like, who basically takes people to the middle of the ocean and hangs them over the ocean and waits for a shark to come to eat the person. Like, that's the way they kill people. But the reason this worked for me is because Jai Courtney, who plays the killer, freaking amazing. Like, he is so funny in this, and I just loved his performance. And I actually, like, I had a fun time with this, like watching the characters try to escape this just straight up psychotic man who, again, kills people in a very interesting way. Like, to me, that is what makes a killer unique in a movie, is if like they do it in a very unique way. Because like I feel like sometimes, like Scream, I love Scream, obviously they have their you know, reason for why you love those movies, but like, let's say you were to do another movie about a killer and it's just like he just stabs people, like it's going to be less interesting than this, where it's like this guy literally takes people to the middle of the ocean, hangs them over the ocean so a shark can eat them. Like, that's as sadistic as it fucking gets. So it works for the movie that it's going for. And yeah, I don't know, not a great film, but I thought it was decent. So C tier it is. I don't know how many other people watched this, but I had fun with it. Might have to do this because we're starting to get to a point where the movies aren't fitting on the screen. There we go. So now you can actually see all the movies on the screen at once. Okay. It was just an accident. I actually recently watched this. This was a very recent watch for me. For the Patreon. It was a Patreon request. And where am I going to put it? Probably in B tier, right below Wolfman. So this is actually an Iranian film, and it's basically about this man who was, and I mean, there's a lot of stuff about Iran in the news right now. I'm sure you guys have heard about it. And he was imprisoned by Iranian authorities like years and years ago. I forget. I don't remember exactly what year it was meant to like be where that happened. But a lot of people were, because there's, you know, they're very authoritarian there. And so he, years later, thinks he recognized someone who was like one of his, what was it, like, captors was the word, one of the people that was interrogating him and basically torturing him, right? And so he thinks he recognizes this person years later, and so he tracks them down and decides, I'm gonna kill him, right? But here's the thing, he doesn't know for sure it's the right guy. And the guy is very convincing in saying it's not me. So then the whole movie is basically him trying to figure out if this guy is actually the guy that he thinks he is or not. Like, he has no clue if it's actually him. No, he's no clue. He's not certain. But it's a really interesting movie because of that. It's like, it goes in depth of like the uncertainty of it, and just discussing whether or not, even if they are certain, should they even do it? Because there's multiple people that get involved in it. It's not just him. There's other people who were prisoners before, and so they're all kind of deciding like whether or not they should do it. And yeah, it's a really interesting movie. I thought the ending was really, really like a really good scene. So I recommend it for sure. Definitely one of the better ones of this year. So B tier. Okay. Let's go to the next one. Did you hear Scream 7 is going to be the first Scream to get an IMAX release? Really? IMAX? Holy shit. I feel like that's not the kind of movie that needs IMAX, but if they're filming in IMAX, I'm fucked. Yeah, that's pretty cool. I'm happy about that. Maybe that's why they released it like in February, because I feel like there's less IMAX movies in February usually. Like, there's less spots because there's not many movies that can be in IMAX at once, which is why they have to release it at a certain point. So that's cool. Did not know that. You have Patreon requests. Never knew that. Thought it was just early videos and uncut. Yeah, there's one tier. I have it capped at 4 per month though, because I can't do more than that. But yeah, so 4 different people per month can have access to a tier where they get to pick any movie for me to watch, and I have to watch it basically. So yeah, that's something I do on Patreon. Some of those movies come to YouTube, some of them don't. Kind of just depends on how popular the movie is and stuff like that, how much I liked it. All right, we're not even halfway through this, I think. Holy shit, I gotta go a little faster, dude. Ballerina, the John Wick spinoff, which I actually thought was a great idea. I was so excited for this, and honestly, it was pretty good. I don't think it was as good as I wanted it to be though. Like, I do think it was a little, not necessarily disappointing, but like, I feel like there was certain story elements and subplots that were underdeveloped and could have been a lot better. And a couple of like minor criticisms I had, like the main character, Eve was her name. There was like a couple action scenes where she never had any blood on her face, and I'm like, what? Like, she would get punched, beaten up, like she would be stabbing people, and she would be looking spotless. I'm like, are they like trying to like make it so Ana de Armas just doesn't have any blood on her because they're like, oh, we need to preserve her beauty? Like, I don't think she'll look bad with blood on her face. Like, make it look realistic, you know? I don't know. I thought that was a weird choice. But the movie was great. Like, the action was great. The choreography was great. Ana de Armas did great. Like, I want to see more John Wick movies, whether it's with John Wick or not. I don't even think he needed to be in this movie. He was good in the movie when he was in it, but I don't even think he needed to. It just fits really well with the universe. And yeah, hope we get more of these, but definitely a solid film. Honestly, I might get some apple pie. I'm not even kidding. I'm kind of hungry, so after we'll do 1 or 2 more movies, and then I think I'm gonna bring some apple pie here, and we'll eat it on stream. I also have to use the bathroom, so there's that. All right. Up next, Fear Street Prom Queen. Okay. I didn't love this, but I didn't hate it either. I think I actually like this more than most. It's like really low rated. What does it have? It has a 1.7 on Letterboxd. Oh my God. That's one of the lowest rated movies of all time. Holy shit. I didn't hate this. I thought it was stupid in a lot of scenes. I thought it was really like, there's a lot of elements I didn't like. But I think the reason I actually kind of enjoyed it is because it was a Netflix movie, but they didn't do that like Netflix original movie look. They actually made it shot in a way where it kind of resembled a classic like 90s slasher. You know what I mean? I thought that was cool. I appreciated that. You know, it's very campy, which I think sometimes is why people don't like these types of movies, is because the campiness is too much, right? It's just like, okay, this is ridiculous. But I kind of enjoyed it, man. I don't know, maybe I'm crazy for that, but it's not great. Like a C tier is still not great. It's low C tier even, because yeah, there was some really cheap CGI kills. The characters are underdeveloped, but yeah, I don't know, man. I still had fun with it. Like, I can't lie. I feel like they could have done a lot better with it though, obviously. So I don't know, man. I didn't hate it. Food review channel coming soon. Dude, honestly, I've been talking about doing that for a while. And I just never did it. It would be fun though. Like, I would love to rank food. I'm pretty passionate about food. Okay. Yeah, not much else to say about Fear Street though. I didn't really hate it. I just thought it was okay. Next up, Honey Don't. Dude, Honey, don't make me watch this again. How about that? I love all these like changes to the titles I'm coming up with. This is directed by Ethan Cohen. And he obviously helped co-direct No Country for Old Men with his brother. But every other movie I've seen from him since then, I haven't really liked. Like, I didn't like this at all. It had a great cast. You had Chris Evans, Margaret Qualley, Aubrey Plaza, and there's basically, you got this investigator, and there's like all these mysterious murders happening that are like tied to this church led by Chris Evans. And so it's basically just her looking into that. But it's a comedy. Like, this isn't meant to be like a serious plot. It's very much a comedy. And I don't think a single bit of it was funny. I don't think I laughed once. Maybe I did. Maybe once or twice. But that's not enough for a full ass movie, you know? So yeah, I thought this was pretty buns. And I don't recommend it. But here's the thing. I do think there's an audience for this type of movie, and I applaud the people who enjoy this movie and get a lot out of it, because that's great. But I didn't myself. I thought it was buns, like I said. So there's that. Now we get my favorite movie of the year, and that is F1, which people think I'm nuts for saying that. No, honestly, I think it's only apparently people who are a really big fan of like the actual sport itself in real life, like they hated this movie because apparently it's not realistic. I don't know what, like, part of it's not realistic. I'm not a fan of it myself, so I can't say. But I don't know. I've never watched a movie and gone like, oh, it's unrealistic because it doesn't do exactly this, like how it is in real life, that it must suck. Now, I think if it gets like certain like physics wrong and like injuries, then it's kind of annoying, because it's like, if it's, you know what I mean? There's elements to it where I'm like, I get why that would be a reason to hate a movie. But this is like, I don't know. I've never, like, sport movies. Tell me, someone who does know what people are talking about when they say it's not realistic to the sport. Tell me in what way. I'm just curious, because I'm like, give me like an example of like, if you were to watch a football movie, like what would the example be there? What would the, I don't know, comparison be? Like, is it like if a movie just had a football game, and the football game, like the scoring made no sense, for example, if like the touchdown points were completely off, or maybe like there were certain plays that were made that just don't make any sense as play. Is that what it was? I don't know. Again, it depends. But as a movie, I fucking love this. Directed by Joseph Kosinski. Incredibly directed. Some of the coolest freaking shots I've seen of the year. Like the racing scenes were shot so well. The soundtrack is one of my favorites of the year from Hans Zimmer. Oh my God, Hans Zimmer. When I didn't even know Hans Zimmer was going to compose this movie going into it. I went into it and I was like, you know, I'm not sure what to expect out of this. I saw Hans Zimmer's name pop up as the composer. I was like, hell yeah. Like, let's fucking do this. I'm already like, I knew the movie was going to be great just because of that. Brad Pitt's pretty good in it. I like the story. It's basically about this this guy who was an F1 racer, and he comes out of retirement to help mentor this like younger driver, and he basically gets a chance at redemption because he had this big injury before. That's why he retired, and so he wasn't able to like get the achievements that he deserved because he was a really talented driver, but the injury caused him to kind of like be out for a while. And so it's a really like a beautiful story about that. Like it's just him trying to have that fun again in his later life, and while teaching, you know, someone younger to be, you know, to be a good driver as well. I loved that. But yeah, the directing was, oh my God, it was so good. You thought it was a Fast and Furious prequel? That's not even like a crazy thing though, because Fast and Furious movies isn't one of them called like Fast X or something? Like, I don't know. By the way, I'm gonna watch those movies. I've never seen a Fast and Furious movie. I'm gonna watch them for the first time whenever the next one comes out. So whenever that happens, we're gonna watch them. Don't know when that will be though. Yeah, I recommend F1. I loved it. If you like sport movies, I think it's a great one. I think it's really good. Especially watch on a bigger, like, I don't know how big you, like if you have a big TV in your house, but watch on the biggest TV you have, because like I watched this in IMAX. Maybe that's why I loved it as much as I did. I feel like some movies, again, we talked about this before, are not nearly as good if they're not in IMAX, right? So like, you know, I'm sure this won't be as good watching, like if you watch it on your phone or something, like it's not going to be as good, obviously, but I still thought it was fantastic. So great sound design too. F1, more like F this. You know, if I hated it, I would have said that about it, but you know what? I loved it. I loved it. Next up, probably one of the most disappointing movies of the year, but I still liked it, and that is Jurassic Park Rebirth. I'm gonna put it in B tier, which yeah, you might be like, how can you call it disappointing but still put it in B tier? Well, disappointing doesn't mean you didn't like it. Disappointing just means it wasn't nearly as good as you think it should have been. This should have been S tier. It's Jurassic World, Jurassic Park, directed by Gareth Edwards. Gareth Edwards is a phenomenal director. I love Rogue One. I love Godzilla. I loved the creator even. I know a lot of people didn't like the creator. I love the creator. He's got such good visuals. And I do think this movie does have good visuals. Like visually, it's perfect. So I wasn't really surprised. It's Gareth Edwards movie, right? It makes sense. But I feel like the characters just lack so much depth in this. They're so surface level. And ultimately, that's part of the reason this didn't work for me. But I don't know. I just feel like there was a lot going on with the characters. Like they had this whole side plot with this family that did kind of play a role in the movie later on. And I did like the family, but I do think like you had so many characters that were so separated for so much of the film that I think that's what resulted in them feeling underdeveloped, you know? So I think they should have connected the characters for more of the movie, maybe not had as many side plots. And then I think it would have turned out a bit better in the end. But it was still really like visually, it was gorgeous. Like if you want to see cool dinosaurs doing some crazy shit, it's a good time. I'm not going to say it's a bad time. It is a good time, but not as good as I feel like it should have been for a Jurassic World movie. But I hope to see more of these. I hope the negative reception of this doesn't stop them from making these, because I want to see another one. Even if it's directed by Gareth Edwards again, I want to see more. But they got to do something else with it too. I feel like they haven't done enough interesting things with these in a while. Jurassic World Dominion was probably the most interesting thing they did with this franchise, but the movie just kind of stunk. No, I don't think the movie was that bad, but it was disappointing as well. I feel like Jurassic World kind of 3 in a row now where they've kind of been like a little disappointing. But again, I still liked this. I'm not saying it's a bad movie. I gave it like I think like a 7.5 out of 10 or something. Like, it's still a good movie. It's just not as good as it should have been. 28 years later, dude, I loved this, and I so badly just want to go watch 28 years later, The Bone Temple again. I know this is not that movie, because The Bone Temple I liked even more, but I want to rewatch The Bone Temple because, oh my God, that came out this year. So obviously we're going to talk about that at the end of this year with our ranking that we do at the end of the year. But dude, The Bone Temple, I can't stop thinking about it. I have literally thought about that movie like every day the past like week since I've seen it. It was so freaking good. 20 years later, though, was also really, really great. It was a great way to bring back this franchise. Very different story, but they had the same feel as the original 28 Days Later. That like handheld feel, but it's not like a, you know, found footage movie. It's just shot on iPhones, so it kind of looks like more handheld. But I really like Danny Boyle's style here. I think it was really, really well done. The horror was fantastic. I like how the movie has like different plots to it, like different like what's the word to describe it? Different like parts is the better word. Where there's like the first section is very different than the second section, very different than the third section. And there's sections I like more than others. Like I do like the part where Aaron Taylor Johnson's in it more than anything when he's out with his son Spike. But the ending is really beautiful as well with Spike's mother going to the Bone Temple itself and meeting Dr. Kelson. I thought that stuff was really, really great. So yeah, I really enjoyed this. Definitely A tier. But dude, the Bone Temple, oh my God, I can't stop thinking about it. It's even better. It made me like 20 years later more retrospectively, I think, as well. Like I think I look at this movie as being even better because of it. I could honestly see this trilogy, because they're going to do a third one. I could see it being one of the best trilogies of all time when it's all said and done, to be honest. Did you see the new Anaconda? No, I did not. Did not. The next Fast and Furious movie, which is supposed to be the final one, oh wow, not including the spinoffs, has been delayed multiple times since 2024. It's currently scheduled for 2027. Okay, so there's like 10 of them or something, right? I'm probably going to start watching them in like, honestly, the end of this year, maybe even earlier. I should probably start watching them like once we get a teaser, like a poster or something. Maybe I'll start watching them, because 10 of those, it's going to take a while to get through. So I should probably start sooner rather than later, right? And I'm actually excited to watch them. I've heard some of them are pretty good. I really want to watch the one directed by James Wan, because I love James Wan. I know he directed one of them. I'm excited for that, but I have no idea how I'm going to feel about those movies. I haven't watched a movie franchise in a while, so that'll be fun to like start from scratch and just go all the way through them. I don't know like anything about them. I've literally never seen a single clip, other than I know there's like there's a meme about like them being all about family or whatever. I don't know. There's something about that, but haven't seen them. Okay, Superman. What do we all think about Superman? I mean, I'll admit, I rate this a bit lower than the average person. And I did not hate it by any means, but I don't think this was like an absolute masterpiece. I thought it was a pretty good start to the DCU. Pretty strong beginning for, I mean, look, I'll just come out right and say it. I like Man of Steel more. Still really enjoyed this though. But I think the one thing I didn't love about this is that I don't think that like there's some scenes that don't look that good, if that makes any sense, right? Visually, I thought it had some, and I don't mean like the CGI wasn't good. I just mean like it wasn't shot well in some scenes, which I think has to do with the cinematographer, because it's the same cinematographer as The Flash. And I feel like I noticed similar moments in The Flash as well that kind of reminded me of it. But I mean, it's still a really good movie. So I'm going to probably give it A tier right there. It's solid. It's not as good as Thunderbolts though. Not the best comic book movie of the year for sure. But man, I'm really excited for the DCU. The DCU has a ridiculous amount of potential. We're getting Supergirl this year and Clayface, the Lantern show. I'm really excited for it. I hope they don't, fail miserably, because that could happen. Very well could. But this was a promising start though. I think part of what, beyond me saying that some of the visuals aren't like perfect, I think part of what I also didn't love about it is, in a lot of ways, this feels like a Superman 2. Like it feels like a sequel in a like it feels like there should have been a movie before this, if that makes any sense. I'm not saying they should have done a full origin story for Superman, but I feel like there is some elements that should have been shown. Like an example is, I don't like how him and Lois were already in a relationship. Hot take, maybe, I don't know. And people always make the argument, they're like, oh, we've seen it 100 times, where I'm like, no, we haven't seen their interpretation of it, right? Yes, of course, we've seen the comics, we've seen previous movies, but we haven't seen David Cornsweet and Rachel Brosnahan is her last name. We haven't seen their chemistry and their bond leading up to them getting into a relationship. So I think it does take away from it to just start off with them already in a relationship. I didn't like that. Him already being Superman, I could deal with that, but they should have made it so she still doesn't know who he is. She knows who Clark is. Clark could work at the Daily Planet, but they should have had this movie have that relationship element where it builds up to her finding out at the end. And I would have preferred that. I honestly didn't really care for their bond all that much in this movie, because I was like, they're already in their relationship and all they're doing is fighting for like the first bit of the movie. And then they have, sweet moments later on, obviously. But I don't know. I wasn't like a fan of that. Maybe it's a hot take, but I don't know. Didn't love that. Lex Luthor was great, though. Like, that stuff was great. Like, a lot of great stuff to this. A lot of great stuff. That apple tasted funny. Man of Steel would have made more money if it was called Superman. Probably. Should have called this channel Film Fusion. Feel like it rolls off the tongue better, and TV is technically film since both were shot on film at one point. Go back to 2020 and tell me that. You might be right. I don't know. You should use your ass as a thumbnail and see how many views it gets. Get taken off the channel immediately. My channel would get removed. Actually, I don't know if asses are prohibited. I think as a thumbnail they would be, but I've actually never, like, I always blur them out in my reactions. Not that my ass is in it. I mean, like, the movies that I watch, but I don't like other channels I see they leave it in, and I'm like, isn't ass considered something that like they would block you for? Like, I'm not taking the chance. So if I see a butt, I'm gonna censor it, but I don't know. Not sure. Okay. Next up, K-pop Demon Hunters. I honestly thought this movie was going to be something I didn't care for. I thought it was going to be kind of like, I thought it was going to be like, okay, that's cool, but I didn't really enjoy it. No, I thought it was pretty good. Solid B tier. Yeah. It's, it's more, it's like one of those movies where it's like, I do think it's geared more towards kids, but really anyone could enjoy it at any age. Music was great. Actually had a pretty good story to it with, pretty interesting characters, and the animation was beautiful. So yeah, I liked it. But like, the music was actually like really, really good though, which, I feel like a lot of music nowadays, I'm a much more of like a 80s 90s music kind of guy. Like, I feel like those are usually it's the era of music I prefer. Well, actually no, early 2000s I love too. But dude, some of the music nowadays, like the best music comes from movies. I feel like, like I don't think the best music comes from like, artists just dropping like albums. I think it's the music that comes from movies. Like, yeah, they're obviously made by artists and stuff, but like those usually introduce me to better music than anything nowadays. So I don't know. This was great movie. Filmed the reaction. It's already posted on the channel. Yeah, I should have named this Expert Fusion. That's true. I made the name when I was like 13, which is funny to think back on. This is where the channel name comes from, by the way. This game, Trials Fusion. When I was coming up with my channel name, I remember looking at that game and I was like, oh, I like the word fusion. It's cool. So I went with it. I'm not even kidding. I gotta hang that game on a poster or something. Okay. It's actually not a bad game, to be honest. I actually enjoyed it. Megan 2.0. I freaking loved the trailer for this. I was so excited because I was like, dude, you know, the first movie's okay. I didn't love it. I didn't hate it. But I was like, dude, if you're gonna do a sequel, at least do something crazy with it. And they did. They did a whole ass crazy like Terminator 2 style action movie. And I was like, hell yeah, let's see it. And honestly, it ended up being a pretty decent time. It's not great, but it's like, I don't know. It's kind of just like, I enjoyed my time watching it. And I think the way I described it when I first watched it was it's slop, but it's good slop. You know, it's like Taco Bell. You know, it's or really any fast food place. I don't really eat fast food, but it's like it's not good. It's not like great, but it's good. Like that doesn't make any sense. I'm like contradicting myself, but you know what I mean. It's like it's a so bad it's good kind of movie where it ends up actually being pretty good in the end. So yeah, it's over the top. It's really stupid. Half of it is ridiculous, but you know what? I had fun with it. I'm putting it in C tier. So it's not that high. C tier is not that high, but that's not bad, right? Music fall off needs to be studied. You know, I think a big part of it's they've done everything. How many more different notes and different orders can you possibly do? So I feel like a lot of songs just sound derivative. Like I'm like, okay, that sounds like it's a good song, but it sounds like a song I've heard 1,000 times. That happens a lot. And then also, I think there's the nature of like the types of songs that people like before. Like it's different. It's kind of changing, and people kind of like shift the trends, and that kind of results in less unique music because a lot of people are just chasing trends for songs that like that they like that tone of song, you know. And also nostalgia plays a role. Songs are so heavily tied to nostalgia, like it's hard to get into new stuff because you have nostalgia for the old stuff. That also is a thing. But then again, like I said, sometimes I'll watch something and I'll be like, oh, that's a great song, and it turns out it's a new song, and I'm like, okay, you know, some new songs are pretty good. Obviously, I listen to movie soundtracks more than anything they'll do. Movie soundtracks are bangers. Okay. I went through a KDH reaction rabbit hole on YouTube for a long time while last year. What is KDH? Oh, K-pop Demon Hunters. I'm so stupid. I think if you added a P after the K, I think I would have clocked it faster. But I was like thinking to myself, I'm like, well, wait a minute. But no, yeah, K-pop Demon Hunters. Yeah, I should probably watch some reactions to that too. That'd be fun. There's too many reaction videos out there, though. Okay. I know what you did last summer. The reboot, or not really a reboot. It's more of a legacy sequel, requel, whatever you want to call it. I really wanted to love this. I feel like I mean, I never loved the original. Like, I thought the original was a pretty solid movie. Like, I'd probably put in like a B tier or something. Like, I thought it was pretty good slasher. But this one, I feel like it takes a lot of like really unique swings that I wasn't expecting. Not going to spoil it, but it is pretty ballsy, right? But I can't say I loved all of those swings. There's one in particular that I don't know, I can't get behind. Like, there's something that happens with a specific character where I'm like, I just have trouble buying it. Like, sure, it's their characters, they can do whatever they want with them, but I don't know, I had a trouble getting like wrapping my head around why that would be like a good decision for this character, even though it was a really surprising thing. It did kind of leave me being a bit disappointed there. So yeah, I didn't love this, but I still liked it. Gonna put it in C tier. So yeah, it's enjoyable, but I feel like it could have been a lot better. Dialogue also wasn't the best. Great cast though, great cast. All right, we are done with the apple pie. That was good though. You ever thought about reacting to music? No. I mean, technically I did do that on my other channel because Call of Duty Zombies has really good music, and whenever they have new songs, sometimes I'll react to it. But the issue with that is like most music is copyrighted, so you would never get, you'd never be able to monetize those videos. And I don't really like react to music in like a very specific way unless it's like in a movie. Like I'll react to, like, I'm watching a movie and I'm like, oh my god, the music's amazing. Like I'll say that all the time. But if I'm just hearing like a song, like a new song, I might be like, oh, it's pretty cool, but like there's not much to say beyond that. Like I love music in movies because you could talk about like how the music fits the scene, how it fits the characters, the themes. But just like a random song, it's like I don't really have much to say about it. Like you put on Katy Perry's Fireworks right now. It's a great song. It's a banger. I don't got shit to say about it though. That's the issue. So I don't know. But can I talk about how it's used in a movie? Yeah, but that's just kind of, I don't know. So don't think I would ever do that, but it's an interesting idea for sure. Fantastic Four First Steps, another S tier. It is awesome that Marvel got 2 S tiers in 2025. I think this is a fantastic year for Marvel. Really is. Even though I didn't love Captain America Brave New World, having 2 movies in S tier is what I'm talking about. This is a great movie. It's, great cast. Love the aesthetic of the world that they're on. The version of New York City, the retro futuristic vibe of it was awesome. And I think the way they handled Galactus was incredible. The music for Michael Giacchino was great. I like that it was in its own universe because it allowed for that really unique aesthetic, but it also made it so they were the only heroes in this world. Everyone relied on them. That to me made it way more interesting. This was really, really good. I actually liked it more than Thunderbolts for a while, but I ended up putting it lower because I have thought about it less since the movie released. Thunderbolts I thought about a lot. This one, not really as much. So yeah, I'm not going to put it higher than Thunderbolts, but still fantastic. I cannot wait to see more of these characters in the Avengers movies. That's going to be so much fun. And I hope they get more movies down the line as well, because yeah, they deserve it. All of them. So yeah, I'm glad a lot of people agree with me too. I don't know many people who didn't like this. But I don't know how you could see that and say this was like not a good year for Marvel though, because it's very consistent. Very, very consistent. Okay. Again, in my top 10 videos, I'll talk about this a lot more. The Naked Gun, dude. Okay, so I did record a reaction to this, and I'm hopefully going to post it in the next few weeks. Again, I have to really get on that. But oh my god, was this so fucking funny, man. This shit was so funny. I'm going to put it in A tier, man. I'm going to do it. It was, oh my god, dude. Comedies are so back. I like this movie. It's a freaking spoof, like parody movie in 2025. Like these movies have died out. Like nobody makes these movies anymore because they know they're just guaranteed to just bomb because nobody finds them funny anymore. Honestly, even back then, nobody liked these movies that much. I mean, the only parody movies that I can think of that people generally give praise to is the Austin Powers movies. All 3 of those have at least decently high ratings, I think. And then like Scary Movie and stuff. But like I guess not another teen movie is loved as well. There's a couple, I think, but like the rest of the scary movies, Scary Movie 2 people like. I think 3, 4, 5 people hate. I like 3 and 4, but I think 5 is really bad. And then there's like the epic movie, and then the superhero movie, which I actually like the superhero movie, but yeah, a lot of these spoof movies people just hate. I always love them though. Like they're so like stupid, but they're funny, and I think they're a good time. Just like they're great to just put on and just laugh at and just make fun of. You know, it's a spoof. It's a parody of a bunch of other franchises and stuff. So I think it's fun to watch. And The Naked Gun is obviously a legacy sequel of sorts. I don't know if you necessarily call it that, but it's meant to be in the same universe as the first Naked Gun. And Liam Neeson is the main character. He plays the son of Drebin from the first, and he is hilarious. I think Liam Neeson is one of the funniest guys ever because he plays everything so seriously, but like the comedic timing is just incredible. And honestly, there's like 2 scenes in particular that had me dying in this movie. I think the one I laughed the most at was the snowman scene. The scene where that's the song playing, and then they're making love to the snowman, and the snowman tries to kill them. Like I thought that was I can't even like. You have to just watch it because I can't even like describe how funny it was without you just watch. Like, I don't know, man. Most people probably wouldn't find it that funny, but I think the timing of it and the song was fucking perfect. And there was also, I always love these bits. So they do them with Austin Powers a lot, where it's like somebody's looking through like a curtain, so you can only see the shadow of them. The dog one, yeah, that's what I was going to talk about. So you can only see the shadow of them. Those are always hilarious, and they do one in this movie where it looks like they're doing nasty things to a dog, but they're obviously not doing those things to it. But that's what it looks like through the curtain, and the guy's like, "What the fuck?" Oh, dude, so funny. A lot of good, like what do you call it? Like the type of humor where it's like it's just a misunderstanding. It's like a what is that? What is that called? I don't know. Whatever. It's really funny. See ya, Cam. Thank you for checking out the stream. I knew spoofs could come back. It's just nobody knew how to make them right for a long time. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say like, I know some people say like, oh, they're afraid to like offend people, but like, I wouldn't even say this movie makes like offensive jokes like at all, to be honest. It's like, I don't think you have to be funny, but you could. I don't think movies should be afraid to offend, honestly. But I don't think you have to. Like I can't think of any jokes in this movie that people would get like up in arms about. I can't think of one. It just genuinely was really funny all the way through though. And then Scary Movie 6 comes out this year, which I'm really excited for. So hopefully that's good. Hopefully that doesn't disappoint. I want to see another superhero movie as well, because that to me, you could do a lot more. There's a lot more superhero movies since then. Those are very relevant. So you could definitely do another one of those. Not Another Teen Movie is still, I think, my favorite spoof movie, though, other than Austin Powers. Not Another Teen Movie is so fucking good. Okay, whatever. Let's move on. Naked Gun was great. War of the Worlds. This might be the worst movie I've ever seen in my entire life. I watched this because I heard it was so bad. And there was actually part of me that wanted to react to it because I was like, oh, we're going to make fun of it. I'm glad I didn't, because it's not like a so bad it's good at all. It's really just bad and fucking boring, man. There's not a single scene of this that's like, oh my God. I don't think there's a single genuinely interesting like scene that's well made in any way, shape, or form. It is just pure ass all the way through. I mean, first of all, you know how I always talk about like good concept, bad execution? I don't even think the concept to this was that great. You're gonna do a War of the Worlds movie set in the War of the Worlds universe, but it's just through a guy on FaceTime. Like, okay. But then the execution is somehow even worse. Ice Cube, and I like Ice Cube a lot. He's really funny. I love him in the 21 Jump Street movies. He's so good in those. He's great in Call of Duty as well. This might be one of the worst performances I've seen in my life. What was he doing? I don't understand. He's like, people are getting blown up and he's like, That's so fucking stupid. Oh my god. I feel bad because I feel like they probably made this during like the pandemic. I heard it was like, but it feels like it was made in like a minute. Like, I don't know. It's oh yeah, it was really bad. I don't have much else to say. You just got to watch it for yourself to really understand how bad this is. It's definitely, I would think, top 10 worst movies of all time. I think so, right? It's one of the lowest rated. It has a 1.0 on IMDb, on Letterboxd. A 1.0. I don't even think you can get lower than that. I guess technically you can, but I guess technically the lowest is a 0.5. No, I've never seen a movie lower than a 1 though. That's freaking low. It's rough. It's rough. Okay. Don't even waste your time to watch it, honestly. I don't know why they even suggest that. It's not worth your time. Weapons. I think I want to put this top of A. I feel like it could get S, and I would be completely on board with that, to be honest. I feel bad because I did have this in my top 10 for a while. But when I was deciding to do my top 10 of the year, I was like sitting there thinking, do I like Weapons or Sinners more? For most of the year, I had Weapons above Sinners. I did. And I think I ultimately just came to the conclusion that Sinners deserves that spot a little bit more. But Weapons is really fucking good too. So it's directed by Zach Cregger, who's honestly becoming a really solid horror director. And he's kind of new to this as well. He did Barbarian and then this. I don't know. What else did he direct? A movie called Miss March from 2009, and then a movie called The Civil War on Drugs. These are both like student films though. Wait, Barbarian was his first like actual movie then? Because those other movies do not seem like actual like full-on things. Wow, okay, Barbarian was his first, and Barbarian was pretty good. And then he comes out with Weapons, and now he's doing Resident Evil this year, which I'm really excited for. Resident Evil. Haven't played all the games. I've only played one of the games, but I think he's going to do a great job. Okay. Yeah, Weapons is great. Very eerie movie, but it has some comedy to it. I feel like Barbarian did as well. I want to say I should leave it at S. I'll leave it at S. I'll put 11 movies in my S tier, and that means Weapons is going to be one of them. It's about this school teacher. It's not just about her, but this whole classroom, bunch of kids go missing, and it's basically about trying to figure out what the hell happened to those kids. And it's freaking, yeah, it's phenomenal, man, all the way through. They have different points of view for different characters. Like there's this cop character, there's this character who is like, he's like, you know, really high on drugs the whole movie, but seeing his perspective of things is quite interesting because it's really important perspective. There's like one of the dads and one of the kids. There are like so many different perspectives that you get to see, and then it all unfolds to the final perspective of one of the kids that went missing. And then that perspective is really important because it unveils a lot of the stuff about what's going on and what the mystery is. And yeah, I loved it. Really, really solid. Definitely recommend it for sure. Resident Evil, that's confirmed. Yes, it's pretty much confirmed that he's directing a Resident Evil movie for this year. So that's cool. There's been a lot of Resident Evil movies, which, by the way, I'm probably going to start reacting to some of them. I don't know. Let me know if I should, because I've heard a lot of them aren't that good. But like, would it still be fun to react to them anyways? I don't know. Maybe. It wasn't that they had offensive jokes, it's that they didn't have jokes, just references to pop culture. That alone is not funny, especially when there's no punchline. No, I see what you mean when it comes to some of those spoof movies. Like sometimes they'll just reference pop culture. I agree that like those aren't great jokes, but I think some of them did have good jokes that like involved pop culture, right? So like you're right that some of it sometimes, especially the worst ones, were literally just like they just reference movies, that's it. But like the good ones, like Scary Movie, Not Another Teen Movie, I think they genuinely had like actual bits and jokes that did have a good punchline, you know. Okay. Next movie, Caught Stealing. This is funny because I watched this without even knowing who directed it, and it turned out to be one of my favorite directors. I was like, "What?" Darren Aronofsky. I can never pronounce his last name. He's directed Black Swan, The Whale, The Wrestler as well. Have not seen Requiem for a Dream yet. I do plan on watching that, and Mother. So there's a couple movies from his I haven't even seen yet, but I love those other movies I mentioned. So I was really looking forward to seeing more of his films. But when I watched this, I didn't even know he directed it, and I kind of just like watched it and I ended up really liking it, but I didn't even realize he was the one who directed it. But I'm not gonna put it like crazy high. I'm thinking A tier maybe, but like bottom of A tier. It's not gonna go B tier, but A tier seems about good, I would say. It's very, very good. So it's about this character played by Austin Butler, and he is this like ex-baseball player. I guess as a kid, didn't really play baseball when he's older, but he had this injury, so he couldn't play anymore. But it's not really like the main part of the film. The main part of the film is he gets involved in this like crime world because these people think that he stole something, which I guess technically he kind of did, but not really directly. And so he gets involved in this world where he's not really meant to be involved in it. And I like movies like this because it's like you have this relatable character who's like a down-to-earth guy, and he gets shoved in a world that is unrelatable to most people. So it's kind of fun watching it from his perspective, where he's just like, holy shit, everything, seeing everything go on and just being, shocked by how crazy that world can get. I do think my only like criticism is that I feel like some of it, especially towards the end, goes a little bit too over the top. I feel like they could have dialed it back a little bit, just a little bit, not like, you know what I mean? But still really loved it though. Definitely react to the Resident Evil franchise. I think I will. I want to play the games more than anything too. I've only played Resident Evil 2, so gotta play the rest of them. All right. That's called stealing. How much more do we have left here? Not a lot, actually. I watched a lot more movies, I think, in the first half of the year, because we already passed the halfway point, and there's really not that many movies left, huh? Okay. Nobody 2. This is pretty disappointing, honestly. It's going to go in B tier, though. So, again, just like with Jurassic World Rebirth, disappointing does not mean bad. I still loved it, but I think Nobody, the first Nobody, is incredible. Like, so good. But I do have one criticism with that movie, and unfortunately, Nobody 2 is mostly made up of that one criticism. That one criticism was I don't like the campy, like goofier, over-the-top angle of that movie. And look, again, I have no issue with camp. I have no issue with goofy stuff. But I feel like this movie, the tone of the first film, like the first 2 acts are fucking incredible. Like some of my favorite stuff from a movie. And like that scene on the bus is incredible. It's incredible. And it's got like some really serious moments, like when he goes to get the kitty cat bracelet back, and he like has a gun to that family, and he finds out that they have a baby. Like moments like that are like really, really good. Like it's a pretty serious movie. But like when you get to the third act, it kind of turns into like an action, like over the top kind of movie. It's not as like down to earth as it was before. And Nobody 2 kind of turns that up to 100. Still is a really good time. Bob Odenkirk is incredible in this. Loved watching him. He's always great to watch in action scenes. So I still enjoyed this quite a bit, but I do kind of wish they leaned into the better parts of the first film instead of the parts that I didn't like as much. But yeah, I had fun with it. I mean, the trailer for it was incredible. I thought that was really fun. Because don't get me wrong, like I'm not saying the movie shouldn't have any comedy or any like unserious moments, because no, that is part of the fun. But like, I feel like the plot surrounding it, that to me is what works better. A really serious plot, but then you have a really unserious action scenes with really like, for example, the moment in the first film where he's like, give me the goddamn kitty cat bracelet back. It's a ridiculous phrase. He's literally holding a gun to someone for a kitty cat bracelet. But the overarching story there is quite like serious and like emotional, because like, his daughter like it was his daughter's bracelet, and it kind of represented him not feeling like a good enough father, where he wasn't really able to protect her from that robbery that they had, the home invasion that they had. So that's what that represented. Like there was a serious element to it, but they had an unserious, like, you know, scene representing it. And I don't know, I like that a lot. Like that to me works really well. But again, I feel like 2 doesn't really do that enough. It's more so just the whole plot is unserious now. It's not just like, you know, certain action scenes that are unserious. So I think that to me is the best way I could explain my issues with this movie. But it sounds like I hated it. I didn't. I loved it still. Like I had fun with it. It was a damn good time. The setting was great. You were at a carnival, a water park. Oh, I love that shit, man. So good. But yeah, it wasn't as good as I hoped it was. That's kind of my overarching point here. So, okay. The Long Walk. Oh man, I reacted to this. Gonna post that hopefully in a few weeks, and yeah, it's one of my favorites of the year. I loved The Long Walk. I kid you not, I think it's the most I've cried watching a movie. Like there was a good like 20 minutes at the end that I was just tearing up every second. You just couldn't hold it in. The movie's fucked up. So the overarching plot is you have this dystopian world where it's like, I forget what year does it take place. It looks like it takes place in like the 30s or 40s or something. I don't really know, but it's meant to be like a dystopian world, and like the economy is so bad, like so many people are just living like horrible lives, and so they do this long walk like thing once a year where people volunteer to join in this thing where if they win a lot of money. If they lose, they just die, right? So it's only one person wins. Directed by Francis Lawrence, same director as the Hunger Games movies. So if it kind of sounds like Hunger Games, that's why. It's based on a Stephen King book though. And they all have to, it's 50 people. They have to walk just for miles upon miles upon miles, as long until one person's remaining, right? So it's, you just have to keep walking. And if you slow down below, I think it's like 3 miles per hour for too long of a time, they just kill you. So it turns into this thing where it's like 50 dudes just walking down the street for hours upon hours. I think it lasts like days. And yeah, a bunch of them just get killed one by one. And it's hard to watch because like these characters are growing a bond with each other, and they're growing like to care about each other, and then they just get killed, and it's like, Jesus, like it's so fucked up to watch. And the worst part about it is how realistic the movie tries to get with the scenes, because I was not expecting that, right? That's what I liked about it a lot. So they didn't have to do this. There's some nasty shit that they do, but it's like, yeah, you might be questioning like, okay, what do they have to do if they have to take a dump? Like, what do they have to do if they have to pee? What do they have to do if, like, what if someone gets sick? Like, there's so many questions you have. And the movie answers all of them. It shows all of that. It shows characters pooping, which is gross, but it's also realistic. Like, they're walking for days. They're scared. They're terrified. People are going to have stomach aches, and they're not going to be able to hold it in. And it's awful because it's like when that happens, they get killed because they can't keep moving while they're doing it. I mean, they could try. Some of them tried, and it just, oh my, it was so terrible. But that's what made it work so well. Like it's a really, really good movie. And I think what made it work so well is what's the actor's name? David Johnson. He played Peter in this movie, right? I think he gave my favorite performance of this year for sure, of 2025. And it's because his character, like the way he I think what made it so emotional, like what made so much of this movie emotional, is because there's this like overarching like theme with him specifically of seeing the good in the world. And even though like this is the worst possible world there can be, and they're in the worst possible circumstance while they're witnessing their friends getting shot in the face, and yet he's like talking to his friend and saying how like if he doesn't see the good in things, like what's the point of trying to make things better? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, there was some sort of through line there that I thought was really, really beautiful. But the way it ends, I was a little mixed on, because I still don't know how I feel about the ending. I heard it was different than the book ending, but I was like, I don't know. I like how it ended because, again, it was really shocking and emotional, but I don't know, because it kind of leaves a couple answers like unanswered, you know what I mean? Like a couple questions unanswered. So I don't know. Still loved it. I thought it was a really, really beautiful movie. And again, seeing characters who are trying to remain hopeful just die because, again, they're in a situation that they know most of them are going to die from. It's hard to watch, but it's really good. Really good movie. Okay, that's that. One Battle After Another movie that I had in my top 10. So you already know that's going in S tier. Where is it in S tier? I think it's right below Sinners. I put it. Trying to be consistent with my top 10 that I had. So yeah, One Battle After Another, directed by Paul Thomas Anderson. And I have only seen one other movie from him, which was There Will Be Blood, which I liked that movie. I didn't necessarily love it, but yeah, this was really good. A really, really good story. And Leonardo DiCaprio is incredible in it. It's really hectic, really, especially that second act. There's a whole like hour long, or not hour long, but like 30-minute long sequence of him just freaking panicking. And yeah, that stuff worked for me. But there is like I wouldn't say comedic, but there is quite a lot of like satirical elements to this movie. And I thought the way they utilized like politics as a backdrop was pretty interesting too. A backdrop to this, I would say, primarily father-daughter story. And I think, what was it? So the movie starts off, you have like a pretty big section that's centered around the early parts of his life. And it's important because obviously it's involving, Willa's mother, so you need to see that. And then it goes that big time jump to when she's older, and I think I prefer the parts where she is older, like the second 2 acts of the film, than I do the first act. But it's a really well made movie. It's beautifully shot, probably one of the best looking movies of the year. That scene with the hills and the chase, that was fantastic. Sean Penn was incredible in this as the villain, as Lockjaw. He was really, really good. So yeah, I enjoyed this quite a bit. I think most people did. It's probably one of the most beloved movies of the year. So this and Sinners I think are like the top 2 for most. I think if I was to say what are the most highest rated of the year, it's definitely this and Sinners. Yeah, that is that. Let's get into Him. Oh my god, dude, this movie, like, I was actually enjoying the first like 30 minutes, and then it just shits the brick. It just becomes such a stupid movie after that, man. I don't know what they were going for with this. I was actually really excited. Like this football player goes to this facility to try to like become, or I guess he has this like big injury, and so he tries to become try to like heal himself by learning with this guy who's apparently like, this legendary quarterback. And it turns into a horror film at a certain point because he learns stuff about this compound where it's like the person running it's more fucked up than he thought. But I genuinely just had no interest in like what the direction was. It just started to become really like stupid, and not in like an interesting way. Like it was just ridiculous. So yeah, unfortunately it fell off for me. I was really excited. I was really expecting a lot out of this movie, but yeah, I don't think it ended up that way at all, which is unfortunate. So don't have much else to say there. Next up, we have Together. Was definitely in my top 10 of the year. This movie, this couple, they have been together for a bit and having some fights and such, but they find this like cursed well with this water in it that's like cursed, and I guess it's a cave, not really a well, and it gives them this curse where like they like want to be closer, but like mentally, and so close to the point where they start connecting body parts, and it's really freaking like body horror type shit that's like really crazy. But I loved how intense and how messed up that was. Is your S tier in order? Everything's in order, like literally everything's in order. But yes, S tier is in order. So it's best to worst basically. So like this is the best, then the worst, and each row is I'm putting them in order as I'm going. thought that would be the best way to do it. That's usually how I do it. Okay. What was I saying? Yeah, so I really enjoyed it, especially because Dave Franco and Alison Brie were the leads, and they're actually dating in real life, so they had a lot of chemistry. And so I thought it was really just well-made movie that was kind of simple, like I would say, because I think, you know, the concept itself isn't like, I haven't seen a movie like it before necessarily, but I feel like it's also a concept that's like, no shit, that would work well for a movie. And yeah, it did. I really enjoyed it. I recommend it. I don't think people loved it as much as I did, honestly. I feel like most people wouldn't put it in their top 10, but yeah, I thought it was really good. Really, really good. Next up, Begonia, if that's even how you pronounce it right. This movie is batshit crazy. Like, it's just insane. But I actually really liked it, and I wasn't expecting to. It's directed by Yorgos Lanthimos, and I have only seen one other movie from his, and that was the Kinds of Kindness movie from, I think it was last year, and I didn't like that movie at all. But I really enjoyed this. It's basically about these conspiracy theorists who believe that this CEO is an alien. So they kidnap her to try to figure out if she's an alien. They think she's an alien for sure. And they're trying to figure out what the hell to do with her because they're convinced that she's an alien. And I thought that was a crazy interesting concept, very simple concept, but Yorgos has such an interesting style to him that I actually really enjoyed it. And you have Emma Stone and Jesse Plemons in this. They were fantastic. So yeah, I actually really loved this. And it makes me want to watch Poor Things, because I heard Poor Things was really good, also directed by Yorgos. So I might have to check that out. I've heard a lot of good things about Sinners. Why Bottom S? I mean, Bottom S is still really high. I don't really have any critiques against it, to be honest. It's just not as, I don't like it as much as the ones I have above it, you know? But it's still high. Bottom S is still really high. Out of all these movies. Okay. Train Dreams. I just watched this like a week ago. Saw it on Netflix, and I heard it was really, really good. And honestly, like, I think I appreciated it more than I liked it, if that makes any sense. Probably gonna put it in B tier. I thought it was really well made, really beautiful, really sad movie too. Really, really sad. But what didn't work for me, I would say, what really held this movie back is the narration. So the movie has narration throughout majority of it, basically just explaining like the thoughts of the main character. And I just didn't think it was necessary. It kind of felt like, you know, you're giving me information I don't need. I know, I can tell what this man's feeling. Like, it'll be like he's grieving over something, and then the narration will be like, he's grieving. Like, you don't tell me that. Like, you know. So I don't know. It was, some of the narration was great. It's just a lot of it felt a little bit too much. Like, you're giving me too much that I don't need to hear. And so that's that. Yeah, I don't have much else to say about that one though. Thought it was pretty good. B tier's good. Frankenstein. I wanted to put this in my top 10, but I think it just is out of my top 10, but it's an A tier. Frankenstein was really good, directed by Guillermo del Toro, and his style is incredible. His way of visualizing stories is amazing. And the Frankenstein story, honestly, I don't think I've actually ever seen it like fully. Like, I've never seen a movie focus on it. I've seen like kid versions of it maybe, but so it was cool to see how this story was presented within his vision. And I liked it a lot. Like, the way they visualized Frankenstein's monster itself was really, really cool. And the way the story was executed, with it being like kind of structured in a sense of, you see the events unfolding in the present, and then you get to see what led up to that from the perspective of Dr. Frankenstein himself, and then also from the creature. And I thought that was really cool. So yeah, definitely a solid movie that deserves a lot of the love that it got. And I think it got a lot of love, right? I think most people liked it, so I was happy with it. Mia Goth was great in it too. And now we have Roofman. Roofman, I did put in my top 10 of the year. It's going right here at number 4, which I love when I have a movie like this. I feel like every year there's like at least one movie like this where it's a movie that like almost nobody has heard of, or I'm sure people have heard of this, but most people I know who have not heard of it, most people I know have not watched it. I wouldn't have known about it if it wasn't for Cody Leach and his top 10 of the year telling me that this movie exists. So I went to go watch it because I was like, I need to know about this movie now. And holy shit, I loved it. I loved it so much. It's crazy too because it's actually based on a true story, which blew my mind. Like I can't even begin to explain how crazy the story actually is, and the fact that I didn't know about it before is insane. So it's about this guy. His name is Jeffrey Manchester, and he is a criminal who robs McDonald's. Right, so he robs them through the roof, which is why it's called Roofman. He like cuts a hole in the roof, hops down, he steals money. But the reason why he's such an interesting person, and again it's based on a real person, is because he's like a nice criminal where like he won't hurt anyone, he won't even injure them. He's actually like overly nice about it. Like the movie starts off and he's like handing he does it like when the like people first walk into work in the morning when there's like no one there except for like a couple workers, and he'll like go in and put them in the freezer because he's like, you know, I gotta rob this place, but I gotta keep you somewhere that you can't like, you know, call the cops. But he'll give them like a jacket or something, like, you know what I mean? He's not doing good things, obviously. He's still doing criminal acts, but he's also like, he's a nice guy. Like he genuinely is. He's just honestly kind of lazy because the movie doesn't go in depth as to why he felt the need to be a criminal, to be honest. I feel like that's one element they should have dived deep into, because I don't think there was. Honestly, I think it was one of those things where he just wanted, you know, to cut corners. I don't really know for sure. Again, I don't know because I don't remember the movie covering any of that. But he had a daughter. He had actually a whole family. I guess that was the reason he had a family that maybe was unexpected. He wasn't expecting to have 3 kids so fast, I guess. And he wanted to buy them nice stuff, and he wanted them to have good life. So he was a criminal. He stole a lot of money. He made a lot of money too. Then he gets caught and he becomes a fugitive. And I'm not going to spoil the movie necessarily, but the movie ends up being him as a fugitive trying to start a new life. He comes up with a new identity, and he basically is off trying to start a new life with new people who don't know who he is, because he's not like well known, you know what I mean? He's not like everyone knows him. Like he's not like this crazy like, oh my god, he killed a bunch of people so he's all over the news. No, he robbed a couple stores. Actually, he robbed a lot of stores. So he is a big enough fugitive that they'll be looking for him, but he's not like high profile, like, oh, he's a murderer, violent murderer, like, you know. So he's able to start a new life, and it's a really beautiful story about redemption, because yeah, he's trying to do that, but it's really hard to do that because he has to lie to everyone. He can't tell people who he is. So it's hard to start a new life with people, become, you know, a regular person again if you have to lie to everyone about it. And the coolest part about it is he lives in a Toys R Us for the movie, because he doesn't have anywhere to live. So he ends up living in a Toys R Us, which sounds crazy, but it actually like worked. Like it's all played by Channing Tatum, by the way. He does incredible with the character, again based on a real person. And it's like Toys R Us, there's a lot of like areas that are kind of like confined, if that makes any sense. So he's able to find a little area that he's able to stay in, and he only goes out when they close down, obviously. And he like shut off the camera system so they don't record, so no one can like look back at old footage. It's so crazy. It's so interesting, and I really loved it. I thought it was a really beautiful movie, really emotional. Like it was marketed as a comedy, but it's not a comedy really. There's funny moments, but that's not what you're watching it for. So definitely recommend it. One of my favorites of the year. Okay, The Strangers Chapter 2. Oh my goodness, man. Why do they... This is the most confusing like thing of all time. So I think the original Strangers movie is decent. I think Strangers Pray at Night is really good. It's the second one. And then they decided out of nowhere, let's reboot them with a trilogy of Strangers movies. Strangers, they're making a third one, literally comes out like next month, I think. This might be, we haven't even seen the third one, the worst trilogy of all time. We haven't even seen the third one yet. I don't understand why they made it a trilogy. Like, okay, the movies aren't even good to begin with. It's not like it would suddenly be a great movie if it was just one movie, but there is not enough content here to make 3 movies. I kid you not, this entire movie is one giant chase scene. Nothing of substance happens. It's not even a movie. It's just a bunch of chase scenes, and they're not even well directed. They're not even like interesting. There's no interesting plot developments, no interesting stories. This is not a fucking movie, man. This is this. And you know what pisses me off about it more than anything? These are directed, both of them so far. They're directed by Renny Harlin. Renny Harlin. For those of you who don't know who he is, he's directed some bangers in the 80s and 90s. He directed, let's look through his filmography. The Long Kiss Goodnight, which is a phenomenal movie. I love that movie. He directed Cliffhanger with Sylvester Stallone. He directed Die Hard 2, which I think is almost just as good as Die Hard 1. He directed A Nightmare on Elm Street Part 4, which is not my favorite Nightmare on Elm Street, but I still like it. I don't, Deep Blue Sea, I don't think people like that much, but I know that's another movie as well. But he has directed good movies for sure, right? So what is he doing with these movies? I don't understand. Like, is it just because, I don't know, like what happened? Like, what went wrong? I almost fucked up and watched chapter 2 after the original, thinking that was the sequel. Oh no. Honestly, I mean, The Strangers Prey at Night isn't even like a sequel to the original, really. It's kind of its own thing, but that's a much better movie. So if you want to watch another Strangers movie, that's the one to go with. Oh my God. I don't understand. Like, it's such a confusing movie. It's like retreading like the first Strangers not the first one, the Strangers Chapter 1. It retreads a lot of old ground that's already been covered with these movies, so I already thought that was stupid to begin with, but they do it in such an interesting way. This one, it tries to add some story to like the main like masked characters, and I don't think any of it was interesting. So yeah, like I said, most of it was just a chase sequence that was, oh, it was bad. It was bad. Yeah, I don't know. I'm still gonna watch the chapter 3 though, because I gotta finish this trilogy. Who knows? Maybe it'll end good. I don't know. I feel like the concept of slasher being one big chase actually sounds cool and fun, like the Fury Road of horror, but I guess they fumbled the execution. You're honestly right about that, but I think it would work if it wasn't like a chapter 2. That's the issue. It's like you had a whole first movie, and then chapter 2 is just a whole big chase. Like, I think you could do that as like an actual like movie if there's like, again, if it's executed well, if the events of the chase are interesting, because like I said, none of it's executed well. Like, there's none of the chases actually like interesting. So you're actually right about that. Like, there could be a good concept there for sure. It's not a bad idea, because chase scenes are always fun, but this movie's chase scenes, no, they're not fun. Next up, we got Black Phone 2. I don't know why it wasn't called The Black Phone 2. Why was it just Black Phone 2? Another S tier. It's our last S tier of the stream, I think. So yeah, I think a lot of the hate for this movie, and honestly myself included, because even though obviously I loved it, I put an S tier, I did have a little disappointment in that I was expecting more kills. But I think this is the issue. A lot of people went into this expecting a slasher. It's not a slasher at all. And obviously, the fact that it was trying to take inspiration from A Nightmare on Elm Street, it's understandable that people would go into it thinking it's going to be a slasher, but it's not. It's not a slasher. So like almost nobody dies in it. Maybe someone did. I feel like 1 or 2 characters did, but it wasn't like it's not like a bunch of characters die scene by scene. Like, it's not a slasher. It's not meant to be that at all. It is psychological horror. You have Gwen having these dreams, and the slasher, the grabber, is trying to kill her in those dreams, just like Freddy Krueger. And they're also trying to solve this mystery of where these kids who are killed that she sees in her visions, so they can find the bodies of these kids and like give the families closure. And yeah, I loved how they did this. Like, the aesthetics of this movie were amazing. The dream sequences were shot so freaking well. They were so eerie, so creepy. Scott Derrickson is probably one of my favorite horror directors. I think he might be honestly, he's like in conversation for top 3 best, I think, for me. Just to like list off some of his movies. Sinister, which I think is the scariest horror movie ever. The Exorcism, Emily Rose. There was the obviously Black Phone, Deliver Us from Evil. Like, I think he's a really good horror director. And then now Black Phone 2. He took a lot of inspiration from Sinister here. So yeah, I think I like it. I do like 2 more than 1, I think, just by a little bit at least. 1 is really great as well, though. They're both really good. But if you see this as a sequel and not like a slasher, then I think you're going to get more out of it. I think the issue is people went into this thinking it was going to be like a slasher again. But do keep in mind, though, this is very supernatural. The first one was a little more grounded. There was obviously supernatural elements, but this is like fully supernatural, though. And like I said, I think it worked. I think a lot of people went into this. It's divisive. There's a lot of people who loved it. A lot of people who didn't love it. It's very much a divisive movie. But yeah, I came out of it loving it to the point where I honestly want more of them. I want a 3rd one. Yeah, I probably will watch Marty Supreme. I didn't enjoy 1. Do you think I will enjoy 2? Actually, maybe. I think I did hear some people who said they didn't like 1, but they liked 2. Because 2 is very different. But I don't know. It's hard to say. Depends what you didn't like about that one, you know? See you, William. Thank you so much for checking out this stream. All right. Now we have Predator Badlands. Okay. I liked this movie a bit, but I will say I do think I'm not as positive on it as others are. I think some people I know some people were telling me it was like their favorite Predator movie, like one of their favorites. I'm like, okay, it's not that good. But no, I did like it. I might put it like top of B or bottom of A. I'll go bottom of A for now. Yeah, no, I liked it. It's very different for a Predator movie. It's very unique because obviously all the Predator movies before were just, humans fighting predators. Whether it's one predator or multiple predators, they're the villains. This movie kind of turns it on its head where there's no humans in the movie at all. And instead the hero is a predator. And it's a predator and a synthetic from the Alien franchise. And I thought that was really cool. There was a lot of good action to it, a lot of good visual effects. It was a beautiful movie. I mean, Dan Trachtenberg is on a roll with these movies for sure. I think the only thing I didn't love about it, I feel like the whole, I don't know, the whole you have these big scary monsters and the movie ends with them, the scary monster ends up being cute. It's a cute story and I think it works good, but I also feel like that's so overdone that I kind of was a little tired of it. I was like, okay, especially for these types of characters, we're talking about predators here. These guys are supposed to be ruthless, and so I don't know. I think I can kind of get around that, but I also thought maybe that part was, maybe they could have done something a little different with it. But I still really liked it. I love the journey. Ellie Fanning was amazing in this. She was incredible. Much needed comedic relief from her. So I really hope that Dan Trachtenberg gets to make an Alien versus Predator movie next. I feel like that would be the next best thing to do. But I also want to see a regular Predator movie again as well. Best Predator movie, I like the original and Prey. I think the original is the best one, but I think Prey is probably second best. Yeah. Probably goes the original Predator, then Prey, then maybe this would be the third even. I don't know. I like Predator 2 a lot, actually. Predators was good from 2010. There's quite a lot of good ones, I would say. But I enjoyed this. I came out of it liking it. I just think that I didn't love it as much as I wanted to. It was one of my most anticipated movies of the year, which I always keep that in mind when I'm ranking these. It's which ones were my most anticipated and did they live up to the hype that I had for them? And this one was top 3 most anticipated, didn't even crack my top 10. So that's why it's disappointing to me, even if I still liked it, Same thing goes for Nobody 2 and Jurassic World Rebirth. Those were also my most anticipated movies of the year, and obviously that's why they end up being a bit more disappointing. Yeah. This is a pretty good year for movies, though. Like, we're not through all of them yet. We have a couple more. This is solid, though. Like, look at how many S, A, B, and like there's not a lot in D and F. So, like, I will say, from what I've seen from this past year, I think it's a solid year. I'm definitely happy with it. Next up, we have Wake Up Dead Man, a Knives Out mystery. This is becoming one of my favorite, like, little franchises that's honestly quite fun. The casts are always really crazy big and huge, so many different great actors, and they always find new people to throw in as well. And this one I actually enjoyed more than The Glass Onion. I did not like it more than the first, though. I think the original Knives Out was still the best one, but I really liked the mystery here. I really liked how many like elements there was to it. There was just so much going on. I also really liked how it handled the religious themes. I feel like religious themes are so easily mishandled by movies nowadays. Like they always do such a bad job with it. But I feel like this movie actually does a pretty good job. And I think having the main character be a, what was his name? Judd? Having him being I don't know what you would call him. Would it be called a pastor? Like, I forget what they... it's pronounced L. I feel like I did know that. I just kind of forgot. But yeah, you're right. It's Elle Fanning. That is true. I think I definitely knew that. I just, in my mind when I was saying it, I just didn't think about that. Okay, but yeah, no, so Judd, he's the main lead. Again, I don't know, would you call him a pastor? Would you call him a priest? I don't remember what like the proper term for what he was. But he was very, very interesting character, like really interesting. I liked how, Benoit Blanc is like the main lead of the first two films, but I feel like he's not the lead of this one. I feel like Judd is, and I think that was a really good choice. So that was already great. I think the one thing that held back this movie for me, the one thing I didn't love about it, is I do feel like the way they solve these mysteries is like really important. And I feel like this one wasn't even really solved. It was kind of just revealed, if that makes any sense. Like it was all just kind of given to us. And I think that makes sense because it kind of turned into this like, oh my God, it's this unsolvable mystery, right? That's kind of what it was. But like, I wish they figured out a way to solve it rather than it just be revealed, So that was my only like disappointment there. But I think the movie itself is still really good. I'm going to give it A tier. I really loved it. I really enjoyed the story they were telling there. I really enjoyed the setting for it, being at a church for a majority of the movie. I'd recommend checking it out. I recommend checking all the Knives Out movies, though. They're really good. Really, really good. Only have 2 more left. Now You See Me, Now You Don't. I was supposed to upload my reactions to Now You See Me 1 and 2, but they're taking so long to edit because I'm so behind on all the other things I'm doing. But I actually really enjoy those first 2 movies. I thought they were really fun. Unfortunately, I do think the third one was a little disappointing. I still liked it though, but it's going to get C tier. I thought it was a little disappointing. I thought it, at this point, and I know there's a 4th one coming now even, I feel like the magic, no pun intended, it's kind of getting lost now. Like, I don't know, there was something so magical about those first 2 movies when I was like so impressed by these crazy tricks, and like figuring out the reveals to them was always so exciting. Like, oh my God, that's what actually happened there. Like, that was always so cool. But this third movie, I don't know, it wasn't as interesting. Like, the reveals weren't as interesting. The plot is very weird too. Like, the structure of it, it's very weird, the directions they go in. But I still enjoyed it. I still enjoyed the characters. I still enjoyed, like, especially because they were more so actual characters in this one. They had more room to actually be a part of it. And it's because Mark Ruffalo wasn't in this one. At least he wasn't in majority of it, but he wasn't in it because I don't know why, but they just, the character wasn't there. And he was the lead of the other ones, mostly the lead. So not having him here, other characters kind of had more room to grow and actually be actual characters. So that element I liked quite a bit. The new characters, the kid characters that they introduced, I hit or miss. I liked having some new people, and younger generations fun and all to have them there, but they do that thing that a lot of movies do nowadays that I like. I don't know. I feel like it's one of those things that's become kind of tropey, where it's like it's kind of predictable at this point, where it's like you have a younger generation of characters and they have to make sure the younger generation of characters one up the older generation of characters. Like they have to be smarter than them, they have to know better than them, they have to be like, oh my god, I'm cooler than you. It's like, okay, like I don't know, like then you don't need to do that. Like it's kind of I don't know. They always feel like they have to do it. And I get why. They're trying to probably attract younger generations to like their franchises and their movies. And you're more likely to do that when the movies do that. But as someone part of a younger generation, it doesn't really do much for me. It just kind of makes me go, okay, like it feels forced. It doesn't feel like you're actually like trying to do anything. You're just, I don't know. It feels inorganic is the best way to put it. I don't know. Not that was a big issue with the movie, but it was just one little nitpick that I had. I was, all right, come on. Like, this is a trope that I feel like a lot of movies do. But yeah, I liked it. Had fun with it. Wasn't amazing though. Okay, we have one more movie. A movie that I didn't even freaking upload a review to. I do reviews for all the big movies. I didn't even do any review for this. And I'll tell you why. It's because I saw it like a few days late, unfortunately. And so by that time, I was like, I'm not even going to bother doing a review. And I also just forgot. I was really busy. So I just had so much going on. It was like Christmas time. I was like, I just don't have time to do a review, man. Is what it is. And I didn't do a review. But I guess now will be my review, I guess. I really liked it. Thought it was pretty good. I feel like the Avatar movies for me are kind of hit or miss. No, that's not true. They're not hit or miss. That's the worst way to describe them. I feel like they're all pretty consistently like a 8 out of 10. That's hit or miss was I don't know why I said that. They are all like an 8 out of 10 to me. They're all good, but none of them blow me away. The visuals blow me away. The effects blow me away. But the story never really blows me away. The characters never really blow me away. It's just more of like they're beautiful to look at and I love going to see them. But I can't say that I think they're like incredible movies beyond that. But I will always go to see these in theaters because they're really, really fun to watch. The one thing I hated about this, it's not even the movie's fault. Honestly, I think it's just why are we doing this still? Why do you force people to see your movies in 3D? Because I'm sure it was not in 3D in many other theaters, but for my theaters, if you want to see an IMAX, you had to see it in 3D. And I wanted to see an IMAX. I refused to not see an IMAX. There was not a single IMAX no 3D screening in any of my theaters ever. Why? And at 3D, I was thinking to myself, okay, I haven't seen 3D in a while. Maybe I'll like it now. I've heard it's gotten better. I had a raging headache the whole time. 3D doesn't work for me. I don't know. My brain doesn't process that stuff. And it didn't even like look that good, to be honest. So the effects of the movie are great itself. It's just the 3D sucked. I hate 3D. I'm sick of it. Don't make me see that, in any movie, please. If you want to make a movie and you want to have that as an option, cool. But please have regular IMAXs as well, please. That would be nice. I don't know. I've not met many people who love 3D. Some people do. I haven't met them. Okay. I think this is just about the same level as quality of the other two movies. I think it's a great movie with great, like I said, great visuals. And I do like Jake Sully's journey here. I do like this universe. I like the like world building, I guess you could say. The Fire Clan was really interesting here. I loved the villain of this. She was really, really interesting. And her like sort of relationship with what was his name? Quaritch is his name, right? That was really good. So I enjoyed that. Hold on, I gotta fix something because. Okay, I fixed it. What was I saying? Something was making a noise over there. I had to fix it. I was talking about Quaritch was his name, right? Yeah, so okay, his relationship with the main villain was really, really good. I just think what was missing for me, though, I do think it wasn't unique enough compared to the second film. Not that it didn't have a new story and new developments. It did, but I didn't feel like there was something missing there, where it didn't feel like that, like it justified itself as being a whole third film in this franchise. It felt more like an extension of the sequel, the second one. So I think that was my main issue there. But yeah, I still love these movies. Can't wait for 4 and 5 whenever those come out. But yeah, that is my ranking of every 2025 movie that I saw. And whenever I watch more, I will obviously, you'll have to be either, whether it's through a reaction video or through me updating my letterbox. That's the only way you will find out if I've watched more. But for now, this is all the ones I've seen, and hopefully 2026 I'll have more. I mean, this is already a lot. This is a 3.5 hour stream. So if we did like 100, this would be like an 8 hour stream. Now, if we did 100, we would just not talk about the movies as much, because I feel like I do talk about them a little too much. But I love movies, so I love talking about them. And yeah, this is I think a solid year for movies. I honestly would say this is one of the best years for movies, like ever, to be honest. For me personally, like the A and S is really strong stuff, really, really strong. So bravo for your voice holding out. It's on its way out, though. I can tell you that much. Oh man, you should start doing 4 episodes every show. So, like per vid. The issue with that, IDK, I'll tell you this. I like the suggestion. The issue is, if I were to do that, it would just take it would just take longer to do the video. Like I wouldn't be able to put out the same amount of videos per week. It would just be like, so for example, Dexter, I do 2 episodes per video, and I get maybe 1 video done per week, roughly, give or take. But if I were to do 4 episodes per video, then it would just be every 2 weeks I would be able to upload a video. It wouldn't really change the pace at which you are getting more content for the channel. All it would do is just make it so there's less videos to click on, which honestly, it would actually end up making it so it takes longer, I guess, to get them, because there's less frequent uploads. You know what I mean? Like if I was to do 1 episode per video, I'd probably get 2 videos out a week for Dexter. So yeah, I understand the suggestion. I actually, like, some people do that because the reason people do that is they want less clutter on their channel. Like they don't want as many videos that are like cluttering their channel. And that's kind of why I did the Dexter 2 episodes per video thing. And also because sometimes some episodes aren't like, great. And I didn't know that about Dexter, that some episodes weren't going to be like, I mean, I like every episode, but I mean, like, sometimes episodes won't like have a crazy thing happen in it. So it's like, if it's at least next to an episode that does have something crazy in it, then the video will still get a lot of views regardless of that one episode not having a lot. What do you think was better, 2024 or 2025? Definitely 2025. 2024 was still good, but 2025 is one of the best we've had in years, I think. So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed. I don't want to say best years ever, but in a while at least. I feel like 1990s has a lot of years, I would say, is like the best ever, like 1994, 1999. 2014, I think, is my actual favorite year for movies, I think. Maybe. I don't know. All right. I will see you on my next one. Thank you so much for watching. Lots and lots and lots of videos coming soon. Trying to work as hard as I can on them. And yeah, I'll have them posted. Are you going to watch the Dexter spinoffs? Yes, of course. I'm actually really excited to check those out. I'm really curious to see what they're like, but we'll watch those out obviously after we finish season 8. So I will see you all later. Peace out.